the masterpiece. At the time of recording this has a 91 on Metacritic. Now, if you still trust Metacritic scores, you're probably an idiot, but still, the point stands that this game is obviously getting the Sony hand job from all the critics for pushing for social change. Even if you do agree
remember
with
he said,
it is far
now
too
I don't have
similar
the
to
best
last
reaction
game
time.
Gameplay-wise, it really makes very few, if any, improvements. It has some of the worst pacing I've ever seen in a video game, despite having significantly fewer cutscenes than God of War Ragnarok. It's actually worse because it interrupts the gameplay every 10 minutes, and even when you are playing it, you're either solving a brain-dead puzzle or playing some other mini-game, or you get a walking simulator mission, or you're playing as a spider bot. Basically anything except swinging through the city and fighting bad guys.
Basically anything but swinging through the city and fighting bad guys. That's interesting. Damn. I don't know.
Let's just ignore the majority of the game.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we just played different games. I don't know.
It makes absolutely no sense how this game is up there with all the greatest games ever made. Now, reviewing this game is going to be difficult because I am so utterly
He's so mad about this. Like, it's like, yeah, it's not a good side mission, but like, Jesus, bro, like you're like seething over this side mission.
Entire with all of the political virtue signaling that is in modern video games, and this is one of the worst cases I've ever seen. By the way, if you tuned into the streams, you know exactly why already. So it's going to be hard to actually try to give this a fair review because this game really pissed me off. I mean, I don't think I've been this mad at a video game, well, at least since Starfield, which really released not that long ago, but you might have thought that I was reaching some of my points with God of War Ragnarok story. And I'll admit, I was barely paying attention half the time because that game was so unbelievably boring. But Insomniac Spider-Man 2 is...
Or just literally... No, that in that scene, the boss fight, once he realized it was Freya, he stopped trying. Like, because he didn't want to kill her.
Boring as God of War, but also twice as woke, undeniably so. It'll be
double the woke. It's hilarious because alright, so like him and the other dude Griffin Gaming like pulled up this scene where they're like showing a highly trained woman fighting another highly trained man. It's like, oh my god, the woman's beating the man, and then literally 5 minutes later Spider-Man comes through and beats the shit out of literally all of them, including the women, the white male protagonist. So if he wants to pull that, it's like, what?
Interesting to see the usual suspects try to pretend that this isn't clear political propaganda being shoved down our throat. Now, because this review is going to come out over a week after the game's release, anybody who decided they wanted to purchase the game has already made that choice. So at this point, I'm just giving my thoughts because clearly a lot of you want to hear my thoughts on this game. And man, I'm finding it difficult, so yeah, let's just talk about the gameplay. Now, unlike most of my other videos, I'm actually not going to talk about gameplay all that much because it's very similar to the last game.
It's kind of fitting that Synthetic Man's wearing the skin with the white hood.
If you're interested in this, you've already played the game that released back in 2018, and even a few of you played that Miles Morales game.
It's actually the only good suit in the game because it reminds me of the good days.
Me of the time back when gaming was proper and right.
But not nearly as many, judging by sales numbers. So you basically already
what did he just say?
It's very to my other videos. I'm actually not going to talk about gameplay all that much because it's very similar to the last game. Chances are, if you're interested in this, you've already played the game that released back in 2018, and even a few of you played that Miles Morales game, though not nearly as many, judging by sales numbers. So you basically already played this already. So just sticking to the gameplay and not talking about the story or anything.
No, Miles Morales, I think it sold 10 million as of right now. I don't know. I think when it first came out, it's like the first 2 weeks, it sold like 6.5 million, I'm pretty sure. But I could be wrong about that. But I don't know.
This was fairly successful. It was really successful.
I mean, it's still one, like, I think it's still top 15 PlayStation games selling-wise.
Yeah, and keep in mind it's a side game.
But as I've said multiple times, especially on the streams, I have never been a huge fan of Arkham-style combat.
And this is like, okay. I'm just gonna say this now, like, cause I've said this in the last time when we looked at I think it was the last stream, yeah. Spider-Man 2 and PS4 is not Arkham-style combat. If you think it is, you're a fucking moron.
There's nothing similar to it besides the takedown button at this point. What else is even similar to it?
Oh, but actually, you have to press square to hit the enemies.
It's so
I like those games, and I also like Shadow of Mordor and
Air
Shadow
Combat,
4,
remember that
but I'm not
games?
particularly good at that combat system.
What is even this game and Shadow of Mordor? I don't even think are similar either. Like, what the fuck?
You can't even air combo in Shadow of Mordor as well.
Well, you also, like, literally just look at the screen you're looking at right now. How is this Arkham similar? I don't fucking get this. It's like, bro.
Yeah, remember when Arkham had, like, 4 ability chains and 4 gadget chains that you can use to mix and match to different combos? That was definitely in the fucking Arkham games.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I played about half of this game while I was tired, so this gameplay isn't particularly great.
Always tired.
So I'm going to try to not hold that against the game, though I did have a lot of frustration with some of the boss fights specifically. So what's different this time around? Well, now we have a block/parry button, which really is probably the greatest source of my complaints with this game, because the muscle memory is so beaten into me from playing all these Arkham-style games.
It's almost like it's not Arkham-style. It's crazy, man. It's wild.
His criticism is that it's not enough like Arkham, while saying it was too much like
No, wait. We gotta go over this one, though.
Because the muscle memory is so beaten into me from playing all these Arkham-style games to press one button to dodge attack.
Extra engagement? More engagement in my video game? Ah! Like, shut the fuck up, bro.
So fucking stupid. I can't believe you were gonna criticize that this game's too much like Arkham, and then you're gonna criticize the fact that the game gives you options and, like, things you need to do in the game to stay alive that makes you have to play not like Arkham. And that feels too different, and that's why he got his ass kicked, because his mindset was stubborn and thinking it was Arkham when it wasn't. That's why he's so bad at this game, because he keeps pretending it's Arkham when it clearly isn't. The game keeps beating his ass and punishing him.
Most of the time, it wasn't a problem, as long as it was an enemy that you're specifically supposed to parry, like the big heavy guys. That's pretty intuitive. Really, what I had a problem with the parry system was with the bosses, because the style boss fight has been shifted to be something much more similar to a Souls-style boss, where you're trying to memorize the boss.
Every game with dodging and parrying is Souls-style boss fights.
Patterns and dodge or parry accordingly.
This guy is like the representation of, like, the worst way to review a video game. It's like this, it's like that. They just keep doing this comparison brain thing all the time.
It's also like he complained. Okay, so like I remember I don't know if we got to the part yet. I don't remember hearing him say it yet. But he complained that he doesn't have the best reaction time. There's literally an option in the settings where you can, 1, turn down the difficulty of the game, and 2, increase the parry time window. Like, oh my god.
Now, where I fucked up in particular is that I didn't pick up on the fact that a lot of these bosses are easier to parry than they are to dodge. Because if an attack just has the white spider sense symbol, I assume I should be able to dodge it no problem. But there's a lot of ending lag on the dodge, and so it's actually faster and more reliable to parry them like you would in Sekiro or some other similar...
There is no ending lag on the dodges. The reason that you're stuck there some points when you dodge is because if you dodge too early, you're punished for dodging too early. And there's also a way to mitigate that, because if you press X right after you dodge, you'll do another dodge.
But I fucked up a lot on these bosses because of the parry system, and ultimately I'm just not a big fan. I'm not going to say it's bad game design, because I don't really think it is, but it personally made the combat less fun for me. And it's not really worth explaining the rest of the combat mechanics, because you should already be familiar with them.
It's not worth explaining the rest of the combat mechanics, because it's so similar, despite the 4 new ability wheels that you can mix and match, the other new gadgets that work pretty much completely differently from the other gadgets from the first game, the multiple different enemy types that all have different movesets and different ways to challenge you. Yeah, there's nothing really here. It's like, shut the fuck up.
like an Arkham game.
If anything, my personal complaint is that the game's too different because I really like the first game, which is a personal complaint. But what I find really annoying about these reviews, like from these morons, is like they always just use these buzzwords to describe games to either frame them as unoriginal, and it really fucking pisses me off.
Shit.
Like, look, the combat's more cinematic-ish looking, and it's about stringing along combos, Arkham style. Oh, there's dodging and parry, Soulsborne. It's like, it's so frustrating because like those games didn't invent that kind of in the first place, and even so, I like these are the most shallow things you could compare out of all of these combat systems. Like, Soulsborne games are actually challenging too. Like, they're one of the harder games. They have a stamina bar for the most part you have to mitigate. You don't have to do that in Spider-Man 2. Like, they're so different. It's just brain dead when I hear this kind of comparison.
Yeah, I mean, not all Souls games have a stamina bar. Well, I mean, technically, if they're labeled the Souls, like Dark Souls, yeah, they all have stamina bars, but like Sekiro doesn't have a stamina bar, and neither does Survivor and Fallen Order. But yeah.
Isn't there like equivalence though, like with the force meter?
Well, the force meter, yeah, but it kind of functions differently. Sekiro, instead of a stamina meter, you have like a block meter, so you can't. So like if the block meter gets too full, it's like you can't what's it called? You'll get hit if it's full and you get and you try to block.
Yeah, like there's a
heavy emphasis on air combos. In fact, air combos are just better than ground combos, but with the downside being that if there are any ranged enemies in the area, they will immediately target you as soon as you knock an enemy into the air.
So he's playing on the easiest difficulty because all of these enemies just went out in like 2 hits.
The downside being that if there are any ranged enemies in the area, they will immediately
and he's still complaining. And he's still complaining about the... Oh my god.
Customize the fucking difficulty in this game, and we're still hearing complaints about the game being too easy.
As soon as you knock an enemy into the air. Now, to talk about the enemies, I was a little bit disappointed on this front. The enemy variety is somewhat lacking. It's not as bad as it seems.
You're fighting fucking symbiotes!
How is the enemy variety lacking, bro? Like,
you're actually fighting fucking symbiotes right now.
There's 5 different symbiote types. You have the green ones, the yellow ones, the red ones, the purple ones, and then the brutes.
Purple guy?
Shut the fuck up.
In practicality, you're fighting the same handful of Craven goons about 75% of the time. And you've already fought most of these enemy types in the previous game.
One, that's not true, because you also have the other enemy factions, like the Fire Guys and the regular Street Thugs, as well as the Sandman enemy types. So, no. And also, what's even wrong with... hypothetically, if you were only fighting the Craven goons for the whole game, there's so much variety in the Craven goons, so it's like, okay.
Well, yeah, like there's a difference between factions and enemy variety. Like, the Craven goons have a lot of different... They have 2 different, like, mini-bosses. They have, like, the bear ones, and then they have, like, the armored one with, like, the shield and shit. Mm-hmm. You have, like, the guys who get, like... You have, like, rocket launcher goons. You have people that, like, stick to, like, the walls and shoot the crossbow at you and all that shit. The sword enemy types. There's, like, a lot of different variety with, like, just the Craven goons alone. And then you add the symbiotes, which are like, even more dynamic, even though there's, like, only 5 of them.
Yeah.
With the exception of the new brute enemy types now all having an undodgeable attack that you have to parry instead.
Oh, yeah.
There's also a robotic panther that...
Oh, yeah. Drones.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the dogs also, mitigate your special...
Yeah.
Can shoot
and, like,
out
the bird
a
enemies
wave
have a ranged attack, and, like, they fly around and shit.
Temporarily disables your abilities. That was a pretty good idea. I like that. But that's pretty much all I have to say about it. If you played one of these Arkham games...
Bro, how is he showing this gameplay going the enemy variety is lacking? Look at this.
He's saying the enemy variety, and he's like, if you've played one of these games, these Arkham-style games, what are you looking at? I'm just genuinely curious. Have you even played Arkham? Look at your own gameplay.
Well, yeah, he's just generalizing because he doesn't understand how to properly criticize things. He wants to find something to dislike about the gameplay because of the woke propaganda, so he just has to go
because of the woke propaganda.
Like the last game. Well, yeah, that's why he's insane. So he's just gonna go. He's just gonna go Arkham clone, just like the last game. At lacking enemy variety, even though there's literally like a gunship coming down, dropping in enemies that do 5 different things and can like deactivate your abilities and stick to like walls and shoot crossbow bolts at you. But no, lacking enemy variety. He's just saying
temporarily disables your abilities. That was a pretty good idea. I like
Not to
that.
mention there's like
But
triple the amount of enemy variety in this game than there is in the Arkham games.
Well, yeah, it's insane.
That's pretty much all I have to say about it. If you played one of these Arkham games, you've fought all of these basic enemy types before. Now the combat is
no,
yeah, the robot, oh god, what a basic enemy type. Yeah, I've totally seen that before in Arkham. Same goes for the flying drone vultures that can like shoot lasers at you and back you around in the air and shit. And the symbiotes that can blast tendrils and shit. Yeah, I totally saw that in the Arkham games.
The symbiote, the other symbiotes that you literally can't hit and they attack you fast as shit, so you have to be constantly on your toes.
You literally fight Grey Thanos. I don't want to hear it. You fight Grey Thanos. All that for a drop of blood after you use all your abilities on that.
Well, he might not have experienced the drop of blood because he plays on the easiest difficulty, so you know.
Yeah, they probably go down to like 5 hits, and he's like, "Why is it so easy, guys?"
Most of the time, just because of how fast-paced it is a little on the brainless side because of you constantly spamming one of your four abilities or one of your four gadgets. But it also lets you take out a lot of enemies fairly quickly. So while it's
like, how are you looking at your gameplay right now and saying Arkham? You're so dumb.
This is so brainless. Guys, this game is so brainless and easy. Let's ignore the fact I'm playing on a fucking easier difficulty because of how slow my brain operates.
because I don't have the best reaction time.
I don't have the best reaction time. I don't have the best thinking. That's why I talk like a fucking sloth and make a hour and 21-minute video that's essentially just an IGN review, but reversed against the woke politics. Fucking loser.
It's a difference in praising the woke versus shitting the woke. It's like Batman and Joker, two sides of a different coin, or the same coin.
A different coin.
The skill ceiling that the Arkham games have, especially since it has a little
This has a higher skill ceiling.
wait.
More gadgets. But it also lets you count the time just because of how fast-paced it is. It is a little on the brainless side because of you constantly spamming one of your 4 abilities or one of your 4 gadgets. But
how are you constantly spamming the abilities that have to be on a recharge?
Literally a recharge. It's literally in his screen right now.
You take out a lot of enemies fairly quickly.
And also, they don't even start to come back relatively quickly until you like literally have the skill tree maxed. So that's just also untrue.
And even then it takes a while.
Yeah.
You can't like rely on it or spam it.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the skill ceiling that the Arkham games have.
It literally has a way higher skill ceiling.
It's a way higher skill ceiling. Like the complex like air combos, the mix and matching of your gadgets and abilities and shit that you could do in this game. The ways you could just like bounce enemies and dribble them like a basketball and stuff. That's a way higher skill ceiling.
It's like, well, even still, it's like, okay, so like Arkham Knight, the Iceberg Lounge, for example, right? To get to like the Killer Croc boss fight in the Iceberg Lounge, once you're relatively good at Arkham, it's not hard to get to that boss fight when, like, without getting hit. Like, it'll maybe take you 3-4 tries. It is like nearly impossible, or not nearly impossible, but extremely hard to do like an Olympus base in PS4 or a Hunter's Hideout in this game without getting hit. Yeah. It's like, and that's just going off like not taking damage. When you get into like the complexity of the combos and the shit that you can do in the combat, it is way more streamlined in Arkham than it is in this.
Since it has a little bit of a jankness factor to it, it's hard to describe.
Oh my god!
The game doesn't always.
It has some jankness to it.
So while it certainly doesn't have the skill ceiling that the Arkham games have, especially since it has a little bit of a jankness factor to it, it's hard to describe, but the game doesn't always do what you want it to do.
Yes, it does.
Whereas in Arkham, it pretty much works perfectly. Every button press.
Oh, really? Arkham, the same game that literally will make you take damage sometimes where you cut for hitting an enemy that you didn't mean to hit? That game?
Yeah,
cool.
There's so many times where I punched a shield guy when I clearly didn't want to do that. That's like a common issue with Arkham. I'll admit, in this game, it seems more literal than the last game, which I don't like, but like you can still control Spider-Man decently fine.
Well, it's like, even still, like, this game has the white out, like, you'll always know the enemy that you're about to hit because it has the white outline over the enemies.
Important. This game, it's much more mashy Again, except for the boss fights. The boss fights are a significant challenge, and if I wasn't really tired while playing this game, I might have actually enjoyed them.
Cope.
With one small
Literal cope
issue,
argument.
maybe not a small issue actually, I would say it's a big issue, that the bosses have way too much health, and every single boss
Look at
has
his
multiple
face,
phases.
dude.
Now normally, a boss having multiple phases is kind of cool, but in this game, a lot of bosses, in fact over half of the bosses, have 3 phases, and 2 of them
I never felt
have
any of the
4
bosses
phases.
were too long.
That's
The only ones I felt like that with was Lizard and
Really,
Scream.
Lizard felt short for me.
That's the only one. It was like the first 2 phases I think felt a little too dragged out. Like not even like it's kind of like nitpicky at this point. But the only one that I think really did drag out was the was the Scream one. I don't think they did enough to differentiate the change in moveset from each phase to phase.
Much, dude. There's no reason that an Arkham style boss needs to take 10
Oh my fucking
This
god!
was not an Arkham. You just said it was a Dark Souls off boss. You just said it was a Soulsborne boss.
Bro.
And now you're changing your mind. Oh my god, bro. He's actually fucking stupid.
Why are you like this?
minutes to defeat. Especially since this is the type of game where if you sort of lose the flow and start fucking up, you can very easily die and then have to restart that phase over again.
Oh no, you have to be engaged in paying attention to the boss.
No, you have to not suck ass and beat the boss and not die. Man, well, why don't they have easy checkpoints so it could feel more like a movie game so I could bitch about it being a movie game? Because there's no winning with the gameplay here because I think it's woke propaganda. I'm a synthetic man and I'm an unfair, dumb, biased reviewer who is basically making IGN reviews but hour long.
Issue is that some of the bosses can be stun locked with your abilities and gadgets. I'm not entirely sure if this is intentional, and it might just be given.
It's not even in like what's it called? Like when you use the okay, so I think the only ones that stun lock them is the 4 special abilities which need a recharge, and then the upshot and the concussive burst. And they don't even last they don't even last that long as a stun burst. And you can like if you start comboing them when they're in the stun lock, they can f you up if you're not paying attention. So like what?
Also, those are resources that will go away, and you can't spam them.
Yeah, like literally, look at the bottom right of his screen right now. He doesn't have the concussive burst, and he's about to run out of the upshot. He has 2 abilities that he need to recharge right now.
But normally, you're supposed
and there's 3
to
phases
dodge
of this
or
boss.
parry the 4 or 5 attack sequence, and then you get your 4 or 5 punches in. But you can then use an ability and get another 4 or 5 punches, then use another ability. Though usually they'll have a combo breaker.
And then that will go through one
point,
phase, then you have nothing for the next phase, then you'll die. That's literally how Mr. Negative killed me when I played as Miles, is that I wasted everything on him.
4 or 5 attack sequence, and then you get your 4 or 5
I died to
punches
Mr. Negative
in,
like 4
but
times.
You can then use an ability and get another 4 or 5 punches, then use another ability. Though usually they'll have a combo breaker at some point and then start attacking again, which in and of itself feels very jank because they can attack almost immediately after.
Well, if you string your combos together in a smart way and you're actually good at the combat, you can actually combo these bosses after you hit them or after they're done their combos and they're like tired or whatever. And that's a skill thing. Like you need to learn how to manage your abilities so that you can continue your combos, but the bosses themselves also have complex combos that you have to study and like notice and pay attention to.
It's almost like it's a proper dynamic between the player and the boss, how it should be.
Yeah, like Sekiro also has the same sort of thing where when you're good enough at the combat, a lot of people say this about Sekiro, it's like when you're good enough at the combat, you feel like you're the boss.
I just can't believe you said these are Arkham bosses. It's so fucking unfair and disingenuous.
Well, they're Dark Souls and Arkham bosses. That's what they are.
At the same time.
Yeah.
They do their combo breaker, and later bosses, this strategy doesn't work at all. And I don't think I need to tell you why it's a problem that it's not clear when it's the boss's turn to attack. Especially when the
it's so clear.
They literally stop attacking you and they look tired. Use your eyeballs.
Oh my god. And then when you stop, okay, and then it's the easiest way to fucking understand when you can't combo them anymore is when you're attacked, you don't get a sound effect for it, and you also don't take anything off their health bar, and then they start getting back into their combos. That's how you notice it. It is so fucking simple.
This is for half the challenge. Okay, that's pretty much all I got to say about gameplay. It's probably the best element in the game. I'm not going to say it's bad. It might not be my thing, but I can certainly acknowledge that it is fun enough, and it's the only reason why anybody actually enjoys this game.
Oh, really?
Being real. Okay, well, what about
damn
the
it.
Sandman?
Damn, he's right. God damn it, I didn't enjoy the story. I guess I didn't enjoy the side missions either. Damn. Fuck.
I didn't enjoy that. I didn't enjoy that Miles stole Mysterio. That's for sure.
Gosh. That is valid though.
Box. Again, this is much like the first game. There's a lot of repetitive activities where you're basically just making your way to some rooftop or some alley and beating up a bunch of dudes to progress some side quests.
He's using the random crimes to criticize the side missions when those are supposed to be repeatable.
Lucas did the same thing.
Do you want no crimes, guys? Do you want just crimes not to exist? You want the open world to have nothing after you're done the game? Like, what the kind of argument is this?
You're playing the game during those times. One thing I will
guess
say is
Sandman,
I completed...
He's cherry picking the first ever like side mission you get in the game, which is like, I guess this one is repetitive because it is the same thing over and over again, but it's more about like the narrative.
Well,
like Sandman.
I mean, yeah, I'd say the Sandman enemies are the weakest enemy types in the game, probably. But like, you do get a different piece of lore and build up with Sandman's character from each one. I guess they could have differentiated the combat scenarios a little more, like how the Hunter's bases, the symbiote nests are, and the Mysterio challenges. But it's not like you're getting what's it called? The main purpose of this was the backstory for Sandman.
Yeah.
But to cherry pick this one side mission and be like, oh yeah, they're all like this, they're all the same, they're all just repetitive, nonsensical stuff. It's like, no. It's not.
Well, it's the same way I treat the firefighter missions in Arkham Knight. It's like it is mostly combat and stealth encounters. Just that's all you're doing.
Yeah, but they're different. They're differentiated encounters. It's like saying,
story.
Yeah, it's like saying, well, yeah, also it has a story, but it's like saying every level in Arkham is the same because you're either doing stealth or combat. It's like, no, there's different environments and different enemy types that will be in one specific level encounter from one to another. So it's like, no.
The Sandman questline, and the conclusion was incredibly disappointing and pointless. There was only one major...
Why?
It's pointless.
It's
to figure out what happened to Sandman's daughter. How is that pointless, bro?
Not even fucking just Sandman's daughter. It's like it gives you extremely good amount of depth on this character. It's like if they didn't have these things, we would be wondering, like, okay, why was Sandman attacking the city in the beginning of the game?
I actually liked, and here I'll give you your one and only spoiler warning for this video, because I'm just going to spoil basically everything from here on out, is I like the build up to Carnage with this whole Cult of the Flame thing.
Of course,
now, the thing that I absolutely despise that you could probably guess is that Yuri, the cop from the first game who works with Spider-Man throughout the game, has now become a vigilante akin to the Punisher. She's a mall ninja dressed in purple with a chain sickle. She had a gun as a cop and is now downgraded to a chain sickle and swings around kind of like Spider-Man. And it's implied that she kills people,
that's
though
kind
we
of
never
silly,
see.
I'll actually admit, now thinking about it, that's kind of funny.
Well, I mean, she
doesn't have like a no. She doesn't have. Well, like, no guns rule.
Well, I mean, yeah, she doesn't have like a no guns rule, but like she's not like we see in that side mission. She's not just killing every person. Like she wouldn't need a gun with her if she's not trying to kill every person. She's only trying to kill like people like Cletus.
And that's the only reason Spider-Man doesn't stop her, is because she isn't going on a murder spree like he thought.
Yeah, like if she was like if we're in the random crimes, she just pulls out the blick and starts blaming people. Like I doubt Spider-Man wouldn't be real.
Red Hood from Arkham Knight.
Yeah,
he just shoots everybody.
Just like I doubt he'd be too conflicted on bringing her in.
Yeah, it's actually
see
fair.
her actually killing anybody. And there's multiple things that are cringe about this character. First of all, she acts like a try-hard edgelord. Another case of a strong female character basically just embodying toxic masculinity.
Dude, what are you this is just pure waffle. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
It's woke because she's
He literally just pulled every buzzword out of her ass and didn't explain any of it. Maybe he'll explain it in the next 30 seconds, but he just said, it's woke, edgelord cringe, she's pulling out every toxic masculinity trait. It's like, dude, what are you talking about?
There's women or any other race other than white. It's woke propaganda.
Yeah, or no, they just can't be strong. They just have to all be housewives.
Yeah. That's basically what he's saying. It's like, I don't know why we can't have female characters that are a little bit more hard-ass like Yuri was. It wouldn't even make sense if she was like, if she didn't have any masculine traits, because she was a police captain.
Yeah, well, like you could probably, she has the same personality in this game pretty much. She's just a little more pissed off. Like, actually, no, she has she's acting pretty much the same in this as she was in the DLC. Because, like, in the mainline story, she wasn't as pissed off, but, like, we start to see her get more and more frustrated with her job and the way the justice system works in the DLC, and she's continuing her same personality from the first game.
It's literally just, she's too masculine. That's the only argument.
And she talked shit to Spider-Man the whole time, despite being buddies with him in the last game. And it's
why? I think it's so funny that they let you do side missions with the fucking Venom symbiote on your back. It's like,
of course he did it that way.
It's just pure ludonarrative dissonance.
Bro, he's gonna bring up the mission where she calls out Spider-Man and you beat the living shit out of her.
All human with no powers, no real training. At least it's not shown on screen.
She's a fucking cop. Oh my god, dude.
Wait, who's you to say that she doesn't have real training? Where's it established she doesn't have training? You clearly see that she's trained and skilled in combat. Oh my god, man. Dude, Spider-Man literally is holding back too. And he wins. It's not like he loses against Wraith, so what kind of point is this?
By being buddies with him in the last game, and it's implied
she wasn't he didn't finish the last game. Okay.
Human with no powers, no real training, at least it's not shown on screen where training is a match for Spider-Man.
It's very obvious that she has training. She's fighting.
Thank you for the $10, Riot. Love your streams and vids. Hope you keep up the YouTube grind. I pray that your channel keeps growing, that eventually you'll become bigger than Synthetic Man, so you can always ratio him and other weirdos. Appreciate it.
Please.
And because she has her own two-phase boss fight most of the way through the quest line.
Which is a great fight.
She got punched 10,000 times.
Look how the fight ends. It's literally
fine.
Spider-Man slams her on a wall and it breaks the building. Dude, in both phases, like at the end of the phase, Spider-Man beats her ass and ignores her.
Hold on.
Spider-Man, because she has her own two-phase boss fight most of the way through the quest line. She got punched 10,000 times. She's completely fine. Are you f***ing joke? Is gameplay canon?
Does he not understand ludonarrative dissonance?
Like, what the f***, dude?
Me?
Is gameplay canon in modern games? I really have to wonder. So really, the only
obviously not all the gameplay is canon. Otherwise, you'd be literally murdering people.
Exactly. Like you have, like it's a story, but then you have to differentiate it with like.
Dude, you literally see in the cutscene there, she was about to attack Spider-Man, and he just grabs her like nothing. It literally shows in cutscenes that she can't take him at all. So I don't know what the complaint is.
The final mission where Spider-Man has to defuse a bunch of bombs and then derail this train. The train ends up nearly killing him. It crushes him up to his neck. And Cletus nearly burns him alive while also obtaining a piece of the Venom symbiote.
Damn, I didn't even notice Cletus had the dogs out.
Says the word carnage if it wasn't any more clear at this point. Now, before I devolve into just talking about all the various aspects I hate about this game, I guess I'll give a very quick mention of the web swinging. Now, the swinging physics are still inferior to the original Spider-Man 2.
Oh my god.
I just played Spider-Man 2, so I can absolutely verify that the swinging was more satisfying in that game because it took more skill.
No.
No. I literally just played that game. It does not take more skill. It's so much easier to dodge buildings than to literally to optimize your distance between the ground. It's much easier. Like, no, this guy's a
It also just has way less variety. Or maybe not way less, but it does have less variety. Or
yeah,
Spider-Man has much more meaningful variety, like the wingsuit, the dashing, and the fact that the parkour works better.
Exactly.
And it integrates better into your swinging and stuff.
And the fact if you wall run too much, it would fuck up your momentum. Is something that you have to keep in mind because you could still hit buildings in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
So
this was the main reason I posted this YouTube video. It's like just to show off the crazy shit that you can do with this system and how fast you can go while also just being efficient and not running into buildings with like high skill play and shit.
Exactly.
Like you can't do. I don't know why this video is laggy when I watch it on my PC. You guys told me that it wasn't, or like my other video wasn't laggy. I think it's just my browser, but you know, literally everything in this clip you cannot do in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, corner tethering. Like, since when can you do that in any other Spider-Man game?
Except for the air tricks, I guess. But the air trick system in this game is way more advanced. And it also has a way better risk-reward system.
Yeah, how the fuck did you do that?
Well, like, just look at the loop-de-loop, for example. It's way more smooth and clean in this game than it is in the Raimi in the movie game. And then the rest of the shit that I do in this clip, you cannot do this in Spider-Man 2.
Dude. I honestly think corner tethering was the best feature they added, other than maybe the web run.
Yeah, I like it a lot. My favorite's probably the loop-de-loop, though.
Also, the loop-de-loop does take more skill to do in this game than in Spider-Man 2.
It can. Sometimes it doesn't, I think, but most of the time. So like with Spider-Man 2, it's a very situational move, because like you need to be pretty much going as fast as possible in that game to pull off the loop-de-loop. Plus the loop-de-loop just looks really janky when you do it in that game, because the camera like completely fucks you over when you do the loop-de-loop, because it like literally makes the camera look front-facing you, so you like see the front of your body, and you don't have like a wide FOV like Spider-Man 2 has.
No, I'm talking about diving down with zero swing assist and not trying to hit the ground.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And, yeah. Also, I just realized the zero swing assist with Marvel Spider-Man 2 is just something that just like is a counterpoint to the people that want like web swinging, then you can run while web swinging like on the ground when you're close enough.
Yeah, you can't run in this game on the ground.
But like that just adds more to the skill ceiling.
I'm back. What's been said?
We were just talking about like the Spider-Man 2 versus Spider-Man 2 comparison.
Dude, people who say that the swinging isn't as good as Spider-Man 2 literally just don't turn off swing assist.
Much better physics. It just had
Not
more
even I honestly, even if I was to turn swing assist on, like it's the amount of variety that you can do and the shit that you can do with the new Spider-Man 2, it's just a better system. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it does take way more skill when you turn the swing assist off, but like even if I don't turn it off, I still think it's better than the Spider-Man 2 movie game.
Yeah, but the skill ceiling, bro.
I'd say the most noticeable advantage that the movie game has over Spider-Man 2 is the fact that you can do two webs, like swing with two webs. Oh, swinging with two webs.
Oh.
Two hands.
Webs on two hands. I just don't see the point in it when I played the game.
Well, the only thing that swinging with two hands gets you is the reverse slingshot thing.
Momentum and felt faster than this, though in reality I don't think that's actually true. I believe people have done the tests before, and by default in the settings there's a swing assist feature that is maxed out that makes it pretty much impossible to fail at swinging.
Even when it's on 10, it's literally not impossible to fail at swinging.
Yeah.
I literally already went over this in this video. Which one is it? This one.
It will actually alter the momentum and the angle of your swing so that you don't hit the ground. Now, of course, about halfway through the game, I turned this off to see the difference, and it does feel a little bit better without the swing assist. But now with the addition of the wingsuit, it's harder to fail anyway, because
you have to maneuver the...
No.
Oh my fucking god. Not only do you also... Yeah, you can also fail in the wingsuit. You have to maneuver it properly, especially when you're going through tight buildings. I've done it multiple times. Again, video exhibit A. what's it called? And then what's it called? Like, so like when it says, so let's say you're swinging and you're about to hit the ground. You're not just gonna magically whip out the wingsuit and it's gonna save you, especially when you're really close to the ground. Or if you're about to, what's it called? Like, let's say you're like beelining straight towards a building. If you just whip out the wingsuit, you're not gonna be saved.
At the height of your swing, you can just break out the wingsuit real quick and glide, keeping most of your momentum. And then once you slow down, you start swinging again. So it's even more brainless. And Spider-Man with the wingsuit...
What? It's even more brainless that you have to keep using all the mechanics in the game to keep your momentum. Yes. Makes sense.
Just feels wrong. And man, I'm just really sick of wingsuits in general. Maybe because I've played so many modern games in the past decade, but I think the only time I legitimately enjoyed one was Just Cause 3, and even then, I enjoyed said wingsuit even more when you purchase the first DLC and it turns into an Iron Man jetpack with a machine gun and missiles. Ultimately, I just don't really like wingsuits that much anymore.
What other game recently has had a wingsuit besides Just Cause? Like, even Arkham, like, the gliding in Arkham is a lot different from this game.
The gliding in this game is better, ironically.
Oh, yeah. Battlefield 2042, I guess, but that's also way different. I've played that game. It's not, like... Well, what's it called? Like, even... Okay, so, like, even hypothetically, right, we have another game, like, we'll use the Battlefield example, right? Just because another game has the same system, that doesn't mean the system works exactly the same.
Guy only looks at it, oh, wingsuit, that's it, it's the same thing.
It's like
he doesn't...
It's like saying, there's so much combat in games coming out modern days, I'm just getting sick of combat. It's like, bro, what?
Yeah. They're not the same, like, just because both have the same name, that doesn't mean it's the same thing.
There's a cool novelty in that game and in Far Cry 3 and 4, but I've already seen it way too many times. It doesn't belong in a Spider-Man game.
Don't you literally like Resident Evil 4 Remake? It's like saying, oh, I've already seen shooting so many times, so I don't like seeing it in this game. It's like, what? It's like, you can get tired of a feature, sure. You can get tired of shooting in games because we've seen it for so long. But that doesn't mean it's exactly the same. Like, even the wingsuit, you mentioned there's not even that many games that do it and do it this good. Web wings have been part of Spider-Man for a long time, hasn't it? Yeah. I mean, he doesn't use them often in the comics, but he has used them in the comics. He also used them in Far From Home and No Way Home as well. And we also just saw it in Across the Spider-Verse with Miguel. All right.
I might be a little critical here, but I do think swinging around the city is still fun. Just not as fun as the original Spider-Man 2. Okay, that's pretty much everything that I even vaguely liked about the game. We're only going downhill from here. I pretty much have nothing else to say positively about this game. I honestly don't even know where to begin. I guess we can stick with the sandbox for now, and we'll cover the story later. There's a lot of story-based side quests in this game that are tagged with the superhero app that this fat Asian kid named Genki made for you.
Wow. Alright.
Okay.
Never played the Miles Morales game for obvious reasons, so I had no
Wow! Okay!
Wait, what? What did he say? Wait, replay that back. I wasn't...
Superhero app that this fat Asian kid named Genki made for you. I never played the Miles Morales game for obvious reasons.
Wow!
What? Okay.
Wow!
I wonder what he means by that. I'm very intrigued.
That's... I think it's pretty clear what he means by that. Hell, Jesus Christ.
So I had no idea who the this kid is, and I really don't care if he's been featured in the comics. He's a lame character. I don't like him.
Why?
Spider-Man is a genius. He can make his own fucking gadgets, okay? Stop taking shit away from him. Oh, wait, this whole game takes shit away from him. But
Such
we'll
as...
get to that.
This whole story is pretty much about him. He's like the center of the story, pretty much.
So through this stupid superhero app, instead of Spider-Man solving real problems like supervillains robbing banks or killing people, he decides to help randos who have some kind of trivial issue they could easily solve themselves. For example, you help some black woman find her grandpa who's gotten lost in Central Park.
And this was a neat little story moment
Yeah.
to see with this girl's granddad. Like, what the
Park or something. and you legitimately waste your time walking around the park.
It's not like we have a whole side quest dedicated to the setup of Carnage, which was also good even outside of the setup. It's not like you have a whole Mysterio thing, which you could criticize for not being able to play as Peter, but still you have it with Miles.
Chameleon.
Yeah, the Chameleon one. Let me
I think that should be a deal.
Let me just pull up all the side missions in the game. You have the Sandman mission, which also adds to the character of Sandman.
Yeah.
You have the Prowler stashes, which are a bunch of... some of them aren't the most intuitive puzzle-wise, but others are pretty neat puzzle-wise. You have the Symbiote Nest. You have the Brooklyn Visions one with the... What's it called? I'll admit, the one with the gay couple's not that good. Or it's just... There's nothing really there gameplay-wise and narratively. It's just like... What the f am I doing? Got the photo help one, which is a neat little thing. I think they could have did more with the photo help thing, like in terms of going back and playing as Peter. I think you could have implemented more actual Spider-Man gameplay into that. But it was a neat little story section with J. Jonah Jameson and Peter. Howard, perfect side mission. Monster in Queens was also a cute little side mission with the little dog, which had combat and like detective work featured into it. The graffiti thing, yeah, not very good. Grandpa, great. The Prowler stashes, already went over that. The Flame, the best side mission in the game. EMF had a couple bad ones, but the rest were either good or decent. The cultural museum one was really good. The hunters bases gave Lord of Craven, and they were really good. And then the Spider-Bot one, I did not like the Spider-Bot one.
And I'm finally back. Sorry about that, guys.
Here, I'll let you listen to it. Oh, you gotta hear what he said, bro.
Miles Morales, I heard. I was watching the
in this
stream.
Game that are tagged with the superhero app that this fat Asian kid named Genki made for you. I never played the Miles Morales game for obvious reasons. So I had no idea.
I haven't played the Miles Morales game for obvious reasons, bro. Like,
that's something I would say to you as a joke, bro.
Like that ass.
And that is literally what I said when I was hanging out with you and JP, and I went, yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about switching to Miles. I haven't switched back to Miles since I beat the game for obvious reasons. That's something I would have done for like a joke. But he was dead ass.
Help some black.
I can't believe
woman.
he hates the old man mission.
Oh, it's because they're black. Yeah, you know why he hates the old man mission. He probably hates the Howard mission too, which is literally perfection.
No, I disagree. I think he loved the Howard mission. Like that, he thought the ending was probably really happy.
No.
He's probably like, yes, finally.
Grandpa,
yes, no more
who's gotten lost in Central Park or something, and you legitimately waste your time walking around the park, finding some random evidence, doing a god-awful mini-game.
I don't even see the problem with these mini-games. Like, these ones probably aren't that good, but these ones are... I love these ones. Like, these aren't even bad.
Those ones are better than, like, the first game. They're better than the first game where you
100%.
have to do, like, a device thing.
Yeah.
I like them more than the first game, yeah.
Yeah.
Finding
like, if the whole game was based on this one gameplay function, yeah, you could say it's bad, but, like, when it's, like, a very little part of the game... and it's something that is intuitive, it's like, yeah, what's the problem here? It's not bad.
Random
this
evidence.
Is like complaining about Witcher 3, that you have to like use your Witcher senses to find a trail or something. Yeah. I don't know what the difference is.
Well, it's like complaining about the fucking detective missions in Arkham.
And this game's full of shitty mini games, by the way. They're just straight up padding. They add nothing. They require no brain power. Though I say that
a couple of these.
You're literally speeding up footage of you fucking it up 5 different times.
Yeah, I was about to say these things did make me think a bit, like a couple of them.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, funny enough, I did get stumped by an incredibly easy one at one point.
Oh.
Stumped. Oh my god. Are you just acknowledging that you're actually retarded?
Bro.
You just acknowledge your own inadequacy in brain function, so you just understand that it is easy, but you're stupid? Is that what's going on here?
Thank you for the $5, Vector. Seabird song while playing the Howard mission is the best side mission. Yeah, it's facts.
Guys, I'm feeling dumb. My dumbness is activating.
Thank you.
Retard mode engaged. I guess that's another moment for the son of.
That should have been the quote at the beginning of this video. Retard mode engage.
E compilation. But of course, at the end of this quest line, you find the grandpa.
Look how annoyed
talks
he
about
is.
his wife.
It's just because he's black.
That's it. That's the whole point of the quest, is to listen to some old man.
I wonder how he's gonna react when he figures out the person whose costume he's wearing is based off a Hispanic man.
Bro, he is literally struggling to empathize with this character that lost his wife mainly because he's black, and nothing's changing my mind on that.
About his wife when he was younger.
Dude, I already
But
banned
it
the
gets much
Sky
worse than
Kid.
that.
I don't.
There's
He's not even in the
another quest where you
chat.
help some old black guy free his pigeons because he's about to die, and
He
so
hates
they need to find a new home. And all you do is just swing around the city with pigeons flying around you while a copyrighted song plays. That's the whole
What's wrong
fucking
with that?
mission. And oh, big shock, he's dead when you come back. Ooh, how sad. There's another side quest.
That is... Oh, wow, man.
Yeah, that's just, you know.
Dude, he is unironically unempathetic, and I bet it's because the character's black. That's the only thing I can assume at this point.
He didn't like the side quest for obvious reasons. You know.
Yeah, unironically.
Where you help some blind woman because apparently there's a monster in her yard. It turns out it's one of these robotic panther enemies, and Genki reprograms it to be a dog, a heckin' pupperino, and you train it by
What's the
shooting
problem?
webs at shit in the environment. And of course you give the robot dog to the lady, which has a rainbow painted on it for some reason. This whole game's like that. That's
What
just
he
the
literally
tip
only
of
paid attention.
Make it
He
look
only
more
paid
friendly,
attention to the.
obviously.
No, notice how he only paid attention to the rainbow.
for that shit.
every
Oh, buddy.
every time there's a rainbow in the sky, God's being woke. It's like, no.
Based.
Gets worse. It gets much, much worse.
The Ice
There's
Spice
another
side mission.
where you go to Miles' private school and help some Zoomer mutt who I couldn't
Oh my god.
Did he unironically just say that corny ass shit?
even tell was a woman until I looked closely. Take
What the
pictures.
What?
What the fuck is wrong
These
with
are
you?
his expert level analysis of these f***ing side missions, dude. Like, what the f***?
He's
around
literally
the
just
school,
reverse IGN.
including
I
of
am
their
not
fucking
IGN. Some would say I'm the
esports
reverse.
club. And then the quest all of you were waiting for me to talk.
Yeah, like this was the part I was
Go.
this was the part
Let's get ready.
No, this was the other side mission, the Brooklyn Visions one I was telling you I thought was good because you have to like
Yeah.
explore around the thing and find the specific picture that you need to take and then you chase the drone around. Like this was good. I like this one.
Not as good as VJ.
Yeah, you're right.
Sports club, and then the quest all of
The electric spider. No.
you were waiting for me to talk about, where you help a gay kid ask.
Look at his fucking face, dude.
He hates the. He's so homophobic, bro. It's hilarious. You can just tell with his facial expression.
like no, I will admit, like Insomniac could have did a way better job with this side mission because this is the most stereotypical gay guy, but this guy is literally just fucking seething. Like, look at his face. Oh my god.
For me to talk about, where you help a gay kid ask this dude out to homecoming. Spider-Man
Look,
is
he
wasting
hates
his
it.
f***ing time helping some gay kid ask out another gay kid. Are you
Man's a
kidding
nice
me?
person. How dare he?
What the hell, man? It's not like this is fun. No, you just jump around some rooftops and shoot some webs at some shit, and the game forces you to watch. I literally tried to leave, and the game forced me to web back onto the lamppost over and over again.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about. This is how you know it's propaganda. They're shoving it down your f***ing throat. And no, it being an
Oh,
online
no,
side
one
quest
mission.
is not an excuse, especially since you had no way of knowing what you would see what this quest contained unless you read it on the internet. It's just a random side quest called Homecoming. But arguably, that's not even the worst side quest in this game. Oh no, there's one even worse. There's a side quest where you play as Miles' deaf girlfriend walking around spraying graffiti on walls. But what's
one's
actually
fucking ass.
hilarious
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
this mission, well, two things. First of all, you can actually turn on audio for this deaf girl that's being read by a real deaf person, which is very unintentionally hilarious, and I made
What?
It's being read by a real deaf person. Do you know what a real deaf person sounds like?
lowbrow humor jokes imaginable here.
Oh my god, wait, it actually sounds like that? What the f?
That's horrible.
That is horrible. What the f?
Dude, the reason he even keeps it on is because he's so stupid he doesn't know how to read.
Futurism. I want to make futurism. Wakanda forever. But in Insomniac's
Did you just say
Infinite
Wakanda
Wisdom,
forever?
because they couldn't have this character talk to herself, at least out loud, because she's deaf.
He's throwing rocks at the cat because it's black.
Video game, so the protagonist has to comment on what's going on every 5 minutes, or the soulless golem zoomers playing the game would get bored and turn it off, I guess. Instead of
it doesn't even come turned on. You have to physically turn this thing on.
He is literally spending way more time in this side mission than like Howard's death, like the best Howard mission. He is spending more time on this than like taking down the flame with Wraith, where there's a boss fight.
Well, no, he's got to. Well, no, he's got to spend more time on this because the woke propaganda.
Making her just think. Emojis pop up on the screen. Deaf people apparently can't think. They don't have words in their head. They can read, but they think in emotes.
You can't think. You should understand them. You can't.
I don't even. What the fuck is the problem with the emotes on screen showing Haley's emote? Like what? Thank you for the $5, Frog. I don't know why Synthetic talks so much. This dude is a mid-20-year-old. He still lives with his mom. He needs to move out of the nest instead of buying games. He's in his mid-20s. He look like in his 30s.
Well, that's what happens when you rot away in your mom's basement all day.
Again, it's so woke. It circles back around to being like racist, sexist, ableist, whatever. You know.
What?
Oh my god. So
the school members decide to throw a big prank, and they kidnap the school mascot. Which might be a setup for an okay quest. In reality, you're just solving brain-dead puzzles the entire time. Light reflection puzzles that wouldn't be out of place in a shovelware PS2 game.
This puzzle
even think these were too
halfway through, they have to virtue signal to you and throw in a mural saying how great BIPOC artists are, and we all need to stick together. Because, you know, women think all minorities are the same, apparently.
How dare they
and
say
you might
that,
wonder why I'm singling out women. Well, the lead writer of this game was a woman, and we'll get into that a little bit more later.
Of course you would know that.
Because it's kind of important, actually, believe it or not, to the plot of this game, or at least one major mission in particular becomes pretty obvious. And not long afterward, you go to some African art section of the city, and there's a whole other side quest line about retrieving stolen instruments from this black art museum. My god, this game is full of shit like this, dude. This is
what is even the problem with the music side quest? Like, it's literally just like, oh my god, they're a different skin color than me? Woke. What am I looking at?
For the main story, but you meet a scientist chick
like
who has the non-binary flag.
Like, I didn't even notice this shit. You have to be actively... Bro, you desperately need some fresh air. Like, holy sh... If you're searching... Okay, if you are actively searching for this shit and sitting... Like, if I was to look at this, I would be like, okay, moving on. It's like, what the...
And the monkeypox flag on her desk. There's a pawn shop with the Ukraine flag on the inside, which this is a fucking comic book.
This reminds me of what Ackman said about the woke shit when the pronouns of Starfield came out. And he made it very clear, the reason the woke shit was a problem back then was because it interfered in good writing and, like, quality. Like, the Haldo plot hole is a good example.
The
like,
what?
They clearly just did the Haldo shit in Last Jedi.
Oh.
Like, that's basically because of, like, woke propaganda. And that hurts the story because it makes the writing fucking stupid of why, like, she had to lie and all this shit. That like, you know, makes it not nonsensical. And that's based off of politics. That's why they did it. That is when it matters. It doesn't matter when it's, oh, there's some black people in the game. Miles is in the game.
I guess every time, like, what does he say whenever he walks outside and sees anybody that's not white? Is it woke? Like, is your street being woke now because they allow different people of color? Like, what the dude?
That's why he's inside all day.
He's too scared. He might run into someone who's not white.
Did he like Starfield? Did he hate it?
He hate it probably.
I don't fucking know or care.
He probably
This
hates
is
it because
exactly why I made those 2 escapism is dead videos, because modern developers will not let you escape reality.
You know, escapism is supposed to be escaping reality by being in another world that feels believable. So whatever these people that support LGBT communities in a world that's supposed to be similar to ours, that would make sense and be more believable. It would be less believable if there's no LGBT flags or anything out in New York in the Spider-Man game. That'd be fucking dumb, because that's just not how the world is now. That's what escapism is. It's about just being able to believe.
And this is a more minor
world.
complaint, all things considered, but this Danica podcast with this purple hair feminist chick is so cringy and unbelievable. It's like the writers fundamentally don't understand what makes podcasts like Joe Rogan popular, and so they have this harmless, sterilized character who gives the most safe, politically correct opinions on shit that's going on. I mean, J. Jonah Jameson's podcast would be 10 times more popular in reality, even if you don't agree with what he's saying, which a lot of the times what he's saying is absolutely correct. Inflation through the roof. Feckless government officials.
Of course, this is the specific line of dialogue he chooses.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh my.
J. Jonah Jameson's based.
He just sounds way more interesting. He's actually giving a real opinion. He's enthusiastic. Danica is a face for radio, and she's boring as shit. There's no way anyone would ever listen to her. Before we
I don't even disagree that Danica's podcast isn't that good, but the reasons why he dislikes it and why I dislike it are 2 different things.
He's a school shooter. No, he looks like a school shooter, especially if you find him in that fucking Punisher uniform.
I know what you're talking about. It's from his last video. He showed a clip of that. Oh god, Jaden joined the call. It's too woke now. God damn it.
Yeah,
no!
This Discord's too woke.
Jaden, out. It's too woke.
Yeah. We're drowning in wokeness right now.
No.
When you said, what's he gonna say when he goes outside and sees a black person?
Well, no, witness. There's a flaw with that. He doesn't go outside.
That's true.
It's not even like for food. Like he orders exclusively fucking Uber Eats, and he doesn't leave his room.
I'm so confused.
I wonder if he got like a pH fucking stick and put it on the bottom of his chair, what it would read.
Oh, it would be like just pure. It would just be pure red.
Okay, I think I've stalled enough. Let's finally talk about the main story and how Insomniac's writers, or at least the lead one, absolutely hates Peter Parker. Now, this story was a bit of a convoluted mess.
Hates Peter Parker, yet Peter Parker takes up majority of this game's main story. Okay, sure.
So much so that just 2 days after finishing it, which is the time I'm recording this, I basically already forgotten 80% of it, and I had to go back through my footage just to create this synopsis, which is really not a sign of a good story. And I promise you, I actually tried to pay attention this time, unlike with God of War Ragnarok, where I was looking at chat for probably half the game, because once again, the game was boring as fuck. So the story begins with Sandman attacking the city. Why has he attacked the city? I guess his brain is scrambled.
Maybe if you paid attention to the f***ing side mission you were criticizing earlier, you'd know why.
That's pretty much as far as it goes. It's explained later.
He's not the main villain. Why does he need to have the most complex...
Wait.
I guess his brain is scrambled. That's pretty much as far as it goes. It's explained later.
What's wrong with that?
Wait. By Craven, but Sandman, a guy who's made of fucking sand, is afraid of some random Russian hunter guy who has a magic potion that makes him somewhat stronger than a normal person.
Because of his daughter?
He literally could have. He literally thinks he kidnapped his daughter. You idiot. Also, Craven killed like the rest of the Sinister Six. I think anyone would be scared of him.
Yeah, bro killed fucking Electro, who would beat Sandman.
Now, of course, because we needed a new villain faction in this game, Craven also has 1,000 fucking goons working for him. I mean, seriously, why does he have so many badass hunters that are full of women and people of color?
goes across fucking countries to hire these people? Why would they all be white, you racist moron?
He has
like, bro, like
full of women.
Like, there's no way to counter this because it's just so dumb. It's like, what is there to say? It's like, wow, Craven has women and black people that work for him. It's like, okay.
Bro found. Someone said bro founded the KKK.
Oh my God,
women and people of color. I mean, this is the most diverse group of villains I've ever seen in any video game.
I mean, yeah, they're literally.
You mean to tell me the group
travels across the world to get these people?
Yeah, travels to different nations, recruiting warriors from all around the world. Why are they diverse?
By the way, it would make sense for Craven to have this big group because he's trying to capture superhumans to fight them. He probably would want an army to do that.
I honestly hope Synthetic Man's mom just like brings home a dude and the guy's black and he just listens to him recording this video and he just comes in and beats the fuck out of him.
Beat the shit out of women. Spider-Man hates women so much that he'll break every bone in their body.
Oh, but I thought it was woke.
Yeah, but I thought it was woke, bro.
Was it? No.
Majority of the bad guys are women.
Spider-Man beats up women because he can. Video games are so woke that beating women is no joke. But whatever, that's...
What the
What?
That doesn't even make sense. That like literally goes against literally everything you believe, you fucking moron.
I guess a minor complaint in the grand scheme of things, because so many other games are doing it now. So after you defeat Sandman with Miles' bullshit Mary Sue electric powers, which are good.
Oh my God!
What?
Oh my! It's Ray, but black. Disney got him again.
Oh, the difference is Ray actually. The difference is Ray actually is a fucking Mary Sue.
Yeah, no, he actually genuinely thinks Miles is a Mary Sue in this
Well, he
game.
thinks Frey is a Mary Sue too, in Ragnarok.
Miles gets his ass kicked so many times in this game. What is he talking about? He literally gets captured by Craven.
He gets captured by Craven and then has to come be saved by the white man. In his mind, this should be the opposite of woke.
It's because these weirdos always have a negativity bias. They look at the things that they think are woke, but they don't look at anything that contradicts or counters that.
I mean, I want to bring this up, like, you're gonna say,
yeah, beating up minorities and women, and they are the bad guys, and you are morally righteous as a white straight man, beating the fucking shit out of them.
He thinks the Scream boss fight is woke. He thinks it's.
I do think it's funny how everyone. I think it's funny because everyone plays the same clip from that fight. You can't keep a job. You can't pay the mortgage.
He thinks that
you can't make me come, Peter. Fucking hell.
He thinks the Scream boss fight is quote feminist propaganda. I'm not joking.
Yes.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
The feminist propaganda that requires the white straight man to break out to help the woman get out of her mental troubles because of the symbiote. Yes, very woke.
Yeah.
Someone said probably thinks Spot is a bad villain because he turns black.
He's better when he was white.
He's like his Across the Spider-Verse review is Spot was pretty good for the first half of the movie, but then the second half it just takes a dark turn, literally.
I didn't watch the second half of the movie for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Good against everything in this game. Seriously, Spider-Man comes across.
That wasn't even
some
Miles that
gun
beat
goons
Sandman. That was Peter. Peter's the one who created the idea, and it was his arms that blasted Sandman.
It was a mix of the two.
Yeah.
Well, it was mainly Peter. He's the one who took charge.
I think they both got fucked up in this fight, and they both got their licks in, and then by the end of the fight, they team up and fucking do it.
Mary Sue electric powers, which are good against everything in this game. Seriously.
Except Peter's anti-venom fucking abilities are literally better against the symbiotes. Yeah, cool. Makes sense.
Except Venom himself. Venom himself literally doesn't mind getting Venom blasted.
Spider-Man comes across some gun goons who are the least diverse enemy group in the game. They are not only mostly
it's funny. Just listen to his description. It's so funny.
He's going through every fucking faction in this game. These are the least. He's just analyzing. He's analyzing the skin tone of every faction in the game.
Here's the thing. Take away how retarded that is. And think about it this way: it's a lose-lose. If you have the bad guys be diverse and you get to beat the shit out of them like Craven's goods, it's woke because there's black people and all that. But if they're white, then it's diverse because like the white people are bad people.
Someone said if Kratos loses the Ashes, Synthetic won't play for obvious reasons.
They are pretty much all men and they're jacked, which just made me like them more and want to be part.
Pause, bro. Pause. He literally is an incel. Wait, how are you homophobic and gay at the same time? How does that mean? He's projecting. We figured out. We cracked the case. He's projecting. He wanted to be part of their club.
You wanted
under this justification, he would unironically join the KKK. I'm not joking.
I know, that's what it seems like. What the fuck?
I wonder what his reaction to that side mission is in Red Dead. He's probably like, these guys are based. I think it's more than brainwashed. I don't even know what it is at this point. Who's stupider, Synthetic Man or the Amazing Lucas?
Synthetic Man. Synthetic Man.
Just exploded.
We need a. I would love to hear a Synthetic Man. That would just eclipse all debates. Synthetic Man versus Amazing Lucas.
Oh my god, that would be it would be named the Boundless Debate.
That literally transcends reality.
Someone commented saying that Synthetic's least and favorite movie is 12 Years a Slave. He doesn't know if he wants to hate him or own him.
At the end of this mission, we end up rescuing J. Jonah Jameson, and he is one of the very few based characters in this game.
Oh my god, dude. Of course he is.
J. Jonah Jameson based.
I mean, I don't know. He's not wrong. Who doesn't fucking love JJ?
Well, the point of JJ is just supposed to be a blatant idiot. Of course he thinks he's based.
Bro, someone commented a debate between them. Synthetic would just say Lucas is one of the good ones.
They'd have a fucking peace treaty.
They would actually get along and then team up against you, Colin.
Obviously, unintentionally, as he's just meant to be a right-wing caricature, which is actually hilarious because he's almost always correct.
Oh my god.
Has been found dead. His stinger removed like a trophy. One can only assume this was at the hands of the hunters. Are they doing what the ineffectual Spider-Man won't? And removing these dangerous...
He agrees with murdering prisoners.
Oh my god.
With gruesomely executing prisoners.
Yes.
Even, like...
J. Jonah Jameson is based because he would character assassinate Spider-Man if Spider-Man did what he actually did. Yes.
Oh yeah. Wait till he. There's some amazing story like issues he brings up later. Unironically, I think one of my favorite ones is. I think I remember this. He takes issue with Spider-Man not killing people in this game.
Bro.
Fat Asian kid Genki and
he just has to, every time Genki comes up, it's just fat Asian kid, like... Alright, bro.
Girlfriend. This is just fucking cringe, man. I got nothing to say about it, really. This is also where the pacing of the game starts to drop off of a cliff. I know you're probably familiar with this already, as it's a Sony game, but I think specifically Spider-Man 2 is especially bad about this, because even though, in terms of the actual number of hours of cutscenes, are not nearly as much as God of War Ragnarok, there's so many things that destroy the pacing, whether it's the walking simulator sections, which we'll get to soon.
The like 3 sections in this game that aren't even that long, but okay. And it also doesn't destroy the story pacing, but you could probably argue the gameplay pacing.
Mini games and puzzles, like I mentioned earlier, there's so many moments in this game where you're not just playing as Spider-Man, aka swinging through the city and beating up bad guys, which is the reason why anybody would want to play a f***ing Spider-Man game.
You're mad at them for diversifying the enemy, the level design, and what you're doing in the gameplay. Okay.
What is he saying?
He's mad that they're adding variety to the levels.
The original Spider-Man 2
murdering Scorpion, so
better than this game. The main storyline of this game is somewhere between 12 and 15 hours, depending on what you consider.
What did he just say?
Hold up.
is the reason why anybody would want to play a Spider-Man game, and exactly why the original Spider-Man 2 is better than this game. The main storyline of this game is somewhere between 12 and 15 hours, depending on what you consider part of the story,
4 hours,
which is more than twice as long.
He's talking about he's not talking about OG. I've seen this section. He's talking about like current Spider-Man 2.
Oh, okay.
As the entirety of the original Spider-Man 2 on PS2. But if you cut out all of the fluff, and I mean basically anything that isn't playing as Peter or Miles and swinging around the city or beating up bad guys.
So 90% of the game. Cool.
Guys, this story would also only be about 6 hours long. That's
this cutscene.
What?
Right that's cope, honestly.
how much padding is in this. It is absolutely insane. And
this mission right here, after he's done the spider drone bit, he's gonna go right into a combat section.
The spider drone part isn't even bad.
Inexcusable. Okay, enough stalling. Back to the story. So soon afterward, Peter goes back home, and we finally get to see the new Mary Jane, and oh my god, she's hideous.
What's wrong?
I want to know his. I would love to see his actual reaction to someone who looked like that, like actually trying to hit on him, if that was ever even possible.
Yeah, someone commented he has a girlfriend, and then chat's like, "No way."
If he has a girlfriend, I'm actually Superman. I want to see what she looks like, honestly.
Mary Jane, more like manly jaw. She looks old enough to be Peter's mom, and with a giant fucking man jaw. That is a man.
A giant
dude.
man jaw.
Look at that body, wide shoulders, no hips, flat ass. That is a man.
Wow.
And the worst thing is, we know she's a face scan model. We also know what her face used to look like in the old game, and this is what her model actually looks like, okay? Now here's the big twist. This is what the lead
Oh my god, of course he brought this up.
like.
Of course he brought this up.
That's not a coincidence. Mary Jane
Right,
is
well, bring this up.
100% a self-insert in this.
Can I pause? I actually spoke to my girlfriend about this, as she has done like mocap for games and is a literal has done face modeling. Like she's actually doing it for a game at the moment. And also just general modding. But here's the thing: all the pictures that come out about the face model for Mary Jane, all of them are modeling photos.
Well, the one picture he just showed, right? This does not look like MJ. They have noticeable differences.
Yeah, but I want to bring this up. That photo, it's a modeling photo. They're in heavy makeup and they usually are shot from various angles. They're very, very misleading.
Well, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, the thing with MJ, she looks different in lighting.
Yeah, those look way different.
Yeah, you see how those are the same person, but they look wildly different. It's literally because obviously one's just a photo of her hanging out with me, and the other's an actual modeling photo.
Yeah, like, look at her face right now.
Yeah. The issue is, like, a lot of people are using active modeling photos. No shit, they're not gonna look like that, because like
the hair makes her look more like the insert, like more of an insert. But I assume the hair's like that because it's more like how she would look in the comics.
Look like in the old game, and this is what her model actually looks like. Okay, now here's the big twist. This is what the lead writer for this game looks like. Oh yeah, that's not a coincidence. Mary Jane is 100% a self-insert in this game, and that becomes very obvious near the end, but we'll get to that later.
Sure.
And now in a fucking superhero game, we spend the next 5 minutes cleaning up a house. And we get a flashback to when Peter was a teenager, and
you're gonna hate this bit.
His wall, and Aunt May helped him. Don't care, Aunt May had it coming. In fact, I hope they bring her back and kill her a second time in the next game.
Wow.
Bro hates Aunt May. You fucking monster.
Bro, he doesn't like black people. He doesn't like old people.
He only doesn't like her because she's a woman. What the fuck is wrong with this person?
Decides to waste the next 30 minutes building up Peter and Harry Osborn's friendship. As we saw in the beginning, They're not even pretending to make it a twist that he's Venom in this game. They pretty much gave it away. So the Venom symbiote is helping him fight off his cancer, so now he's completely fine to do physical activities. There's a walking simulator mission where you ride bikes.
Oh,
it's really have a bike ride.
You ride bikes for 20 seconds to build up their their relationship a bit more on a grounded level, because it would make no sense to be swinging with the Spider-Man costume to build up their relationship. Especially when he's first coming back, Harry doesn't even know who fucking Peter is Spider-Man at this moment. Two, you get a cool little interactive basketball section, which I personally loved. And then you get a stealth mission as Peter. It's like, yeah, what a walking simulator.
Just
fucking
make it a cutscene, please. No, dude, don't do it. Don't make me ride my bike in a straight line. It better be a cutscene. Fuck you. Fuck you. And then you have a flashback back to when they were both in high school.
He's complaining about an interactive medium, forcing you to interact.
And I might as well bring this up now, but this game has some
How is it a waste of time when that's character
dialogue.
building and establishing
ripped straight from
of
Reddit.
his mom?
Wait, I don't even know what he just said.
And I might as well bring this up now, but this game has some god-awful dialogue. I mean, ripped straight from Reddit.
Paparazzi's bad enough. The paparazzi with guns?
Oh What's wrong with that?
Paparazzi with guns!
Epic. An impromptu shot of ponage in action. I'm
Yeah.
not a gamer. No takers.
That was supposed to be
You
awkward.
you come to me for the real, so I'm just trying to deliver.
I'm like a B real estate agent. A B real estate agent. Hey, you sound peachy.
I'm peachy. Just peachy. I'm very Reddit.
What the fuck was
She's
wrong
being
with that?
fucking condescending. What the fuck?
She's not condescending, just sarcastic. But
Well,
I don't even see the problem with that. Like, what the?
Fungus right now.
Hey, he isn't at the gardens.
That was cornier than. Okay.
I was able to science my way.
What the? He's like, what are you talking about?
Please, I'd like to keep my fight parties.
Could you not?
Alright, that's fair.
How many gay jokes are in this fucking game? I shall be your first. Oh my. Oh, okay. They're doing it on purpose now. So on our next mission are two spiders.
He's actually brain dead.
Like, you can make a joke out of saying, like, yeah, like the harder shit when Craven's like, harder. Like, yeah, that shit's funny, but like obviously it's like you have to have you have to be actively making it a joke to fucking perceive it that way.
Spider-Men, and yes, they call each other Spider-Man. Gee, I'm sure that wouldn't be confusing at all to the public, especially when one sounds black and is clearly wearing a different...
One sounds black.
Oh my god.
Costume are guarding a ship carrying the Scorpion and some other prisoners from the raft as Craven shows up to break them out for his great hunt. As it comes up later in the plot, Craven is dying of cancer. Even his magic potions can't save him, so he wants to fight the ultimate foe who can finally give him an honorable death. And as you can imagine, this makes him one of the only other based characters in this game. At least he has a pretty understandable motivation. His design is straight ripped from the comics. It looks great. Craven was certainly one of the only good characters in this game, even if I don't really like the idea of him having 1,000 minions. I mean,
the murderous white man. Of course you'd think he's one of the better characters.
Yeah.
The sport in hunting this ultimate prey, if you have an entire army capturing them for you to fight them in single combat, isn't part of hunting tracking them down yourself? But whatever, the two Spider-Men fail, and there's this
Do you not
whole
understand the term
subplot
hunting
with
in packs?
Miles trying to resist killing Martin.
Guess lions are character assassinated every time they hunt with their pride.
Bro, someone said that he likes the fact that Craven put Miles in a cage.
Oh my god!
I wouldn't even. That would be funny if he actually said that. That would honestly just be. It's honestly character assassination if he doesn't say that.
Yeah, honestly.
AKA Mr. Negative from the first game, because he killed his father, Jefferson Davis, which, yes, everyone has pointed out the funny irony of him being named that. That was kind of the point, yes. And you would think
What?
with Miles Morales being Peter Parker's student, protege, apprentice, whatever you want to call it, that maybe Peter would help him forgive Martin Lee, or maybe at least resist the urge to kill.
Almost like he was trying to do that. What the you have like literal like major attention span issues. Holy
Oh, the guy, he's admitted he has ADHD.
I have ADHD. I have ADHD. Like,
he's just genuinely stupid. With
it literally, we literally see a fucking cutscene of Peter and Miles talking about it literally right after that mission and before it.
Well, another thing is, it's like, why is it an issue that Miles learns to become better by himself? Like Peter does that in the game as well.
No, Mary Sue.
Yeah, like how'd you call Miles and Mary Sue and then literally point out his point of conflict in this and how he struggles with, like, okay.
Miles does this all on his own. In fact, Miles takes care of all of his problems on his own, but not just his, but also Peter's problems. And people say he's not meant to be a replacement. Well, this game basically straight up tells you that he should replace Spider-Man. So you're just fucking lying to yourself.
Peter's hyping up Miles. Wow. Almost like that's so in character for Peter.
Bruh.
Like, what do you want him, what do you want him to actually say? Yeah, good job, Miles. It's like fucking, it's like, yeah, whatever, you did a cool job, fine. It's like, no, obviously Peter's gonna be happy for Miles.
And it's an embarrassing lie. Now, I hope you enjoyed that mission, because the next one is another walking simulator
Especially since Miles has helped him get through the fucking, the symbiote shit, which is literally a theme of addiction, which, using the theme of addiction, you should be having your inner circle and, like, the only people or friends and family help you get through that. Like, how do you fucking miss that?
Hooray! At the Emily May Foundation, where they shove another environmentalist message into your head. By no exaggeration, this was 20 straight minutes
actually wrong with that?
Slowly
he's probably a climate denier.
Listening to all
Climate change isn't real. Fucking hell.
He probably would not surprise me.
Thank you for the $2, Gabriel. Peter downplays himself almost all the time. Lol. I mean, yeah, he does.
It's one of his
really cool inventions that are gonna save
Oh my god,
the
guys,
world.
Spider-Man's humble.
It is some of the most boring shit I've ever done in a video game, man. It is straight up awful, and there's only so many times I can say that, but I didn't care about any of it. The end result is Spider-Man gets a job there. Wow, hooray. Not too long after this moment, Scorpion gets killed by Craven, which was a legitimately kind of enjoyable moment. Though something I've noticed that this game series has in common with the MCU is they have no problem with killing off villains. Apparently, Shocker, Electro, and Vulture all get killed off-screen in this game. So by the time this game is over, half of Spider-Man's rogues gallery are either dead or reformed. Because yes, there's multiple reform villains too in this. And I know some people are going to disagree with me on this, but I really think it's a waste of potential to just kill off almost every villain after their first appearance. Especially since, even though Spider-Man has one of the greatest groups of villains of any Marvel character,
like, it is wasted potential, I guess. I can agree with that, but like, I don't even think it's a problem with this story. It's just wasted potential.
It's just it sucks as like a meta thing, I guess. Not in writing though.
Only so deep. I don't think Green Goblin's gonna be enough to carry the third game, but I guess that's a problem for
there's
years
more
down the line at this rate.
I'm sorry, Green Goblin's good enough, yeah.
Well, not only is Green Goblin good enough, but there's gonna obviously be more villains. Like Brian Intihar himself literally said, "Yeah, we're never running out of villains. We're gonna be fine."
You have a lot of villains.
Finally get to see the return of Black Cat, and guess what? Peter doesn't even get to interact with her.
He does, not in real life. Not in like person, but he does talk to her.
For some reason, and they
also there's a good reason for why. It's just they literally state why. Felicia can get into Peter's head easily. She can't do that with Miles.
God, look at the chapter. It's called Black Cat Rants because she has a girlfriend. Oh my god, bro.
Strange is gonna show up, but no.
Oh, whoa.
It's just Black Cat stealing a teleporting scroll, and you'll never guess why. Apparently now she's a lesbian, and she uses the scroll to teleport to Paris so she can get with her girlfriend. Are you fucking joking? And what adds insult to injury is Black Cat is one of the only vaguely attractive women in this entire game.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, of course.
Bro,
There is
listen,
no
guys, I can't jerk off to.
I can't jerk off if she doesn't want to fuck me.
I can't get my fucking fix of female interaction through a screen. God damn it, my mom disabled Pornhub on my internet browser. Fuck.
What a
except that the writers hate Peter Parker and they hate Peter Parker's
Oh my
How
god.
does this mean they hate Peter Parker because he's gay?
Certain nerd people who Spider-Man was literally made for. That's why he's one of the.
Yeah, why doesn't he talk about how MJ looks in the fucking Spider-Man 2 movie game? Like, what the?
Look at that shit.
Bruh.
He's like cheesing right now, but like when it comes to the woke agenda, it's like no, what?
Literally
She
made
ugly.
for. That's why he's one of the most popular superhero characters ever since his creation, is because he is the perfect self-insert for the nerds who are reading comic books series. And so what did they do? They gave him a supermodel girlfriend so that he has one thing in his life, one good thing to keep him going so he doesn't just blow his brains out. And what do they do in the game?
You know that wasn't the narrative purpose of MJ.
Yeah, that's not. He didn't even
The
like.
narrative purpose
He didn't
of
even.
MJ.
Well, he didn't even initially like MJ in the
It was
comics.
originally Gwen Stacy.
It was Gwen, and then it's like MJ and all that stuff. Like Peter has his Aunt May that he cares about. His best friend Harry for a long time. He grew a friendship with Flash Thompson. To say that the only thing he has to live for is one baddie is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of my life as a Spider-Man fan. Unbelievable.
They take that away from him by making her a 50-year-old man-jawed and although Black Cat is still somewhat attractive, in the comics
Jesus
she was
Christ.
a fucking bombshell, dude. Easily one of the most attractive characters. Just like, you know, Catwoman.
God, his Spider-Man comics are definitely sticky.
They are.
A rip-off of. And while the Arkham games came out before the wokeness explosion...
Oh my god, dude. We need a woke counter.
Watch a fucking Synthetic Man video and take a shot every time it says the word woke or mentions...
Dude, I'd fucking die.
Mentions women or... Says the word woke, mentions women or minorities.
You literally get alcohol poisoning.
Oh my god. This is so painful.
What Catwoman looked like in Arkham City or Arkham Knight to this. I mean, shit, in the 90s cartoon, which was for children, they made sure to make Black Cat hot as fuck.
You were terrific back
Okay.
then, and I'd be
Is she
proud to
not
have you
hot
fight
in the
by my
game?
side.
And so, you know what? This isn't just a slight against Peter Parker. This is a slight against me, specifically. Fuck you and
Oh
So
my
the point of
God.
fucking...
Oh my god!
Loser.
Literally, I can't jerk off to it.
it's
a slight
still like...
against me. I
Is it
can't
a
jerk
slight...
off the Black Cat
Is it all...
anymore.
I wonder
That's me. I don't want her to
just
be
wait till he
lesbian.
gets to the point in the fucking comics where he breaks up with Black Cat.
And the little cherry on top was an especially bad bit of dialogue that I had to hear
Demoralizing because
4
I can't jerk
times
off
because
to
I
it.
kept dying during this part.
Of course you kept dying.
You're playing on easy, and you kept dying.
Wait, was he actually?
I wanna,
Yeah.
I wanna see the sea lion.
Oh my god.
Sea lion.
Are you f***ing joking? I seriously have to ask you if you're one of my black viewers, which, believe it or not, is 12% of my stream audience at the very least. Do you
How do you
actually
even
think
know
I'm-
that? Like, what the fuck? How do you
keeps a
even...
counter.
He keeps
He literally-
track of...
He keeps track of the race of his audience.
Like, what the fuck?
What a f***ing freak, man.
He's just got like he's got like a Batman database of all his black viewers, so he knows which comments to not heart.
Morales is cool, and I mean Insomniac's version. I think the Spider-Verse one is completely fine, but Insomniac's Miles Morales is f***ing Urkel, and you can't change my mind.
Okay.
They tried
What?
to make him just Peter Parker, but with black skin, but he's actually
What the? Maybe if you played the f***ing game, the whole point of his first game is to be different from Peter. Like, oh.
I actually am genuinely curious. When at all in the Insomniac games does Peter struggle with vengeance?
I guess you could say maybe this game, like, not struggle. He doesn't really struggle with vengeance. He just wants to kill people because the symbiotes like taking control of him.
That's still different from Miles.
It's the easy way out than
Yeah.
than dealing with the suffering, like losing Aunt May and all that.
Than that. He's a whiny nerd bitch. Now this is about the time when the story starts to just become pure padding. We get a mission at an amusement park where we get to see that Mysterio and Tombstone are now good guys. Now, do we get any real explanation for how this happened? Of course not.
What the f are you talking about? Cool. Mysterio doesn't want to be Mysterio because that's the only thing he feels like his name is attached to, and he wants something different from that. Tombstone, I'm pretty sure he's just like, yeah, I'm sick of doing this criminal shit. It's like, why do you need more than an explanation than that?
He clearly wasn't even that evil in the first game.
Well, yeah, in the first game, he is kind of making steps toward reformation.
I mean, the first game, he literally asked Peter, "Oh yeah, by the way, how did you recover after our last fight?"
See how these villains redeem themselves.
He probably doesn't even try to kill Spider-Man.
Would actually have to earn it, but no, not one villain that gets redeemed earns it in this game.
What the? Oh my god, dude!
This guy, dude.
What a f***ing moron. The other two I can understand. Mr. Negative, you literally go through a story with him where he like earns his redemption,
which completely impacts Miles's arc in a f***ing amazing way.
By the way, in the first game, once again, you can see like the chinks in the armor that he's not fully evil either.
Well, yeah.
It's a conflict thing.
Yeah.
He literally made Feast. It's not that hard to believe he would reform.
The third one being Mr. Negative, which was pretty f***ing obvious. Anyone could have guessed that. And after Miles goes into this weird VR universe that Mysterio came up with and fights some guys, then it just becomes a walking simulator mission as Peter, where you get to do a bunch of carnival mini games.
What the f is wrong with this one? I like this one. Same with the basketball one and the hammer one.
Yeah, the ones where there's
the same
interactivity.
Yeah, the only ones that I didn't even like were was like literally just the rides. Those were the ones that I thought were bad because you're literally not doing
those ones.
Yeah.
You can go on them and immediately cancel them and it still counts.
Yeah.
Pretty half-assed, and some of them are literally just watching someone enjoy a ride. As someone who's actually been to multiple theme parks throughout his life, including
I don't believe
I'm
you.
something of a theme park connoisseur myself. Fucking hell.
Yes, Synthetic Man. I have also partaken in a theme park. So has most people.
roller coaster parks in the world, Cedar Point.
I think he's just flexing the one time he went outside in his life.
Yeah, I like the fact that this kind of shows how little he goes out when he thinks, yeah, I've been to a theme park once. What the
You should actually go and do these things instead of trying to live vicariously through a video game. Trust me, it's worth it. So
but
anyway,
that's what
Craven's
you do.
goons
You
show
don't go
up.
outside.
Kidnap Tombstone, and finally, after a lot of unnecessary build-up, Parry uses the Venom symbiote to help save the day. And I actually kind of like this part of the story, even if, again, it does feel like padding. Harry's trying to be a superhero too, but
it's just
really control
okay.
the Venom symbiote all that well. And as a nice throwback to the comics, the next time they team up, he's wearing a costume very reminiscent of the Agent Venom costume, which is when Flash Thompson got the Venom symbiote. Yes, that really happened. So after saving Tombstone in the next mission, we kind of get to see just how ridiculous it is that he's a good guy now. I mean, he literally filed his teeth down into basically shark teeth. He's a giant f***ing thug.
Wait, did he? Did he actually file his teeth? I thought that what happened to him was what made it like that.
Either or, it doesn't matter. It's like, okay, yeah, he was really bad at one point, but he clearly like softened up over the years until he didn't want to do this anymore. That's not unreasonable.
Supposed to accept that, I don't know, he just had a
Dude,
change
what's with
of
these
heart
anti-woke
off-screen.
people going and like complaining about all this woke garbage trash shit, and then like getting mad that bad people can redeem themselves and become better? Like do they just not care about basic morals?
I think he just doesn't like Tombstone because he's albino.
Yeah, he's technically black, and he knows that deep down, so he can't like Tombstone.
And we get to see a little bit of a tease that the Venom symbiote wants to be attached to Peter, not Harry. Could that possibly be foreshadowing? After some more padding with Miles that isn't even worth mentioning, we get one of the worst missions in the game. Insomniac heard everyone's complaints about the Mary Jane missions in the first game, and instead of addressing criticism like many modern egotistical...
They literally did. They made them way better. And one of them is literally
the best way.
The second MJ mission is literally the best, one of the best missions in the game.
Developers, they decided to double down. Now the Mary Jane missions
double down by having less of them.
By having less of them and making them better and more fun.
Yep.
What a moron, dude.
Addressing criticism, like many modern egotistical developers, they decided to double down. Now the Mary Jane missions have turned into glorified The Last of Us missions. I mean, seriously. And Sony games have so little confidence in the average player's abilities that the tutorial extends not just beyond some simple prompts. No, the very first enemy you sneak up to can't kill you.
Okay.
How's it going?
I'm actually curious if that's a bug or not.
Yeah, I actually don't know if that's a bug.
What the
I want to see if that's a bug.
Maybe it's just like a tutorial thing.
And
maybe.
even when you get to the...
It's like introducing you to new mechanics. Okay.
Yeah.
The actual gameplay part where you can die, these enemies are so deaf and brain dead, you can straight up sprint up to them and stealth kill them. In fact, you can do it to 2 enemies in a row if you're fast enough.
You can't do this on the hardest difficulty.
Yeah, you're playing on the easiest difficulty, so why should we
There's
take
enemy awareness, like literally
playing on
awareness.
friendly difficulty.
Yeah, when you're playing on the hardest difficulty, they are actually very aware.
And they one-shot you.
Yeah.
Also, like a setting specifically for enemy awareness.
Yeah, I was confused when I watched this gameplay because he was taking multiple hits.
Yeah, and I died in like 1 hit when I played as MJ.
They're so dumb.
Guys, why is the game easy when I'm playing on the easy difficulty?
And the thing is, he died so many times.
They're so dumb, as soon as Mary Jane takes cover and goes around a corner, they lose sight of her and are all confused and don't keep tracking your location.
That literally happens in every stealth game.
Well, like, isn't he gonna look right now?
With a single taser to the neck, knocks
And
them
again,
out.
he's
When
still
normally
playing on the easiest difficulty.
it takes like 8 punches to knock out a basic
And
enemy.
you literally, even on the difficulty he's
Knocks them
playing,
out.
you literally
Normally
see the
it's-
enemy walking towards where he last saw you.
Yeah, he
Like
cut
eight-
it out. He edited it out like a piece of shit. He's lying.
punches to knock out a basic enemy as Spider-Man who has super strength. Now this
It was
is the
also
part where some
funny.
nerd
Narrative
says,
dissidence, you
actually
fucking
he
moron."
holds back against normal
No,
humans,
no,
otherwise he
remember,
would
is
Oh my
gameplay
God.
canon?
basic enemy as Spider-Man who has super strength. Now this is the part where some nerd says, actually he holds back against normal humans, otherwise he would kill them. Yeah, but he holds back so much that it takes 8 punches versus 1 taser. Why doesn't he
It's a
just
video
electric
game.
It's literally, oh my f***ing god.
Like, if you
This
want
is literally
enemy,
a criticism that you don't need to address because of how f***ing dumb you are. Like,
SK
it's a
did the
it's
same
a
thing.
nothing burger.
SK said the same
I
thing.
thought this
dude.
guy, I thought this guy cares about like gameplay and all that. He's been like this epic reviewer for video games for so long, and he doesn't understand the basics of like sacrificing some realism to make the gameplay fun.
Yeah, like you don't want to play as MJ for like 50 minutes because you're trying to kill one dude just so you can make him.
Well, remember, the is gameplay canon thing. Do you think it's canon that fucking in Spider-Man 2, Peter actually fucking pile drives people off buildings and kills them? And Synthetic Man is stupid enough that I can buy him thinking that.
Not
fits at
resonate
this
with
point.
fucking
In fact,
story.
Miles Morales could just electrically charge his punches to knock out people instantly. This gameplay is
Except
does
his,
in the game.
one, he does do that. 2, his just like pretty much all iterations of Miles Morales, it's a stamina thing. He can't just constantly spam Venom abilities, except maybe the comics. I don't know because I haven't read them.
so unbelievably bad, dude. It is truly an embarrassment. And when we
Yeah,
finally make it through this
sure.
segment, the whole point of this mission was to rescue Dr. Connors, aka the Lizard.
It's funny because in this exact sequence, we literally see Peter knock out 2 of Craven's goons in 1 punch.
Exactly.
Craven shows up right before she can rescue him, and actually we get a the whole point of this mission was to rescue Dr. Connors, aka the Lizard, but of course Craven shows up right before she can rescue him, and actually we get a pretty cool moment where the girl boss finally gets defeated.
Oh my
God,
dude.
Holy shit.
We get to play as Spider-Man again, only for them to take away control in just 5 minutes by having Peter get stabbed by Craven. We don't even get a boss battle here, no.
Why would you have a boss?
How would you want a boss fight of you losing to Craven?
It would be more interesting for him to get stabbed during a cutscene, and then we get this major fake out as if Peter Parker's gonna die halfway through the story in a Spider-Man game. And to the shock of absolutely no one, the Venom symbiote attaches to Peter and he gets the black suit.
Dude, this is like criticizing a movie you've already watched for what's it called? For this scene not hitting the same because you already know he's not gonna die. It's like, dude,
the whole point of the scene isn't about Peter dying being sad. I think it's more just about how the characters react, because it's interesting that how Harry's gonna care about Peter dying.
Well, you know, it's funny. This scene where Harry is like screaming because Peter's about to die is literally parallels the end of the game where Harry's about to die and Peter's like screaming.
I think there would be a lot of tension right here because now Harry is gonna start dying from his cancer again. Which honestly, if you think about it, doesn't really make sense. You would think the Venom symbiote would just kill all of the cancer cells in his body.
It's not cancer.
It's not cancer.
It's literally not cancer.
Idiot.
It's a genetic disorder.
Why are you writing an issue that isn't existent in the story? There's nothing establishing that the Venom symbiote kills diseases in your body.
If it killed diseases, then Peter. Well, if it fixed his genetic disorders, then Peter's powers should be taken away when he loses the symbiote, because that would fix his powers.
Exactly. Because that's literally a genetic disorder. It would take away all the radioactive cells in his body, so he can not give Mary Jane cancer when he bones her.
But I guess that wouldn't be dramatically interesting. And I'm fine with the route they chose. What I do have an issue with is that it takes far too long for Harry to start turning evil. Instead, we get a very...
What?
Fair.
What?
Fair.
Why is that fair? What?
Well, he only starts to transition right before he gets Venom. Like, right before he gets
Well, no, he's sick, and he needs the suit, and Peter's constantly neglecting him. And then when Peter sees him in person, he treats him like a dickhead, and then we get that scene with Norman where he feels like his father's just accepting his death.
Yeah, that's the scene. That's the scene I'm referring to. That's like
no, but I'm talking about like
time before he's Venom, you know.
No, I know, but he's like Peter's still like kind of neglecting Harry, throughout the story, like with the phone calls and shit.
I mean, yeah, I guess so, but like we don't see Harry descend until that very, very scene, and then he's Venom.
No. Because he does that. That happens later in the story. He becomes Venom.
Yeah.
Alright.
Very half-assed Bully Maguire sequence. Because the writers are giant cowards. Most of the time, Spider-Man isn't even an asshole. And it doesn't help that Yuri Lowenthal is...
He's been an asshole since... Oh my god, dude. He's literally been an asshole since the 90s show established this.
One-note voice actor who has only managed to have such a prolific career despite his lack of any vocal range for purely...
Oh my god. What? Are you serious? Like, dead ass.
He doesn't like him because he's woke, man. He didn't support Trump on Twitter one time.
He supports the writer's strike, so he's woke.
Nepotistic reasons, and no, I'm not gonna elaborate on that. You'll just have to look it up. But voice acting aside, Peter's steady decline into being a total chud was very sloppily handled, to the point where
dude,
he goes from being
fun when you're invincible in Mash Square. What a fucking moron. This is somehow a game reviewer. This is IGN. Like, this is what I said in the beginning. He's IGN, but like reverse with longer videos.
But slightly more confident into a complete sociopath and then a monster over the course of like one mission. It actually...
No, it's not.
Dude. Like, what the actual f*** am I watching?
A Synthetic Man video where he hates black people, minorities, and complains about non-issues.
She felt like
multiple
missions were cut from this game's story because the change happened so suddenly. So next up, we have a spy infiltration mission. As Peter discovers the location of where Craven's goons are hanging out, having a party, and we get to see yet another huge woke moment.
In this next mission, almost like it doesn't.
Well, yeah, they have like a good. Oh, I thought. Oh, is that what he was saying earlier? I thought he was saying he didn't act like, or he didn't act like an asshole in this story enough.
Yeah,
I don't know what he's saying at this point. He just contradicts himself every 5 seconds.
But like his vocal range in this game alone literally hits every emotional beat possible. Dude, look at oh my god.
He's showing it again. Oh my lord. Why? Who cares?
He's so upset.
And everyone just thinks this is okay. This is fine. This totally means nothing.
Yes, because it's a non-issue, you idiot.
Such a non-issue.
I legitimately want to watch this woman beat the fuck out of him. Like that.
I think I would get beaten up by a woman IRL.
Is he the kind of guy who would get upset that Black Widow beat up Happy in the second Iron Man movie?
Probably.
Probably, yeah.
Your lying eyes, your pattern recognition, that's just schizo shit.
Oh yes, almost like the white male protagonist right here literally comes in a second later and then beats the fuck out of her and everyone else in this room. Cool, I guess.
Disgusted when I saw this. And it doesn't help that most of this mission is yet another walking simulator mission. You get into a couple fights.
Of course he walks up, like, dude, he literally, of course he walks up to this specific, it just had to be this specific NPC.
Oh my god.
Like, dude, this is just like, oh my god. I want to say it's like blatant, but like, we've already established this. Like, it literally is just like, it's baffling how blatant this is.
He is literally counting the black people all around this.
He took a mental note.
Actually counting the black people. Again, this is how you know he keeps a percentage of his black audience. This is how he knows it's 12%. He counts the black people.
Oh my god. He probably went through this whole mission again on a second playthrough just to analyze the white to fucking black ratio, or the white male to woman and black ratio. It's like, dude, fuck off.
Listen, Colin, we may argue about power scaling and scale, like, attack potency and speed and all that, but he scales how many black people are in a fucking Spider-Man game, dude. Weirdo. Dude, after this walking section, you get a massive fucking combat encounter.
Oh no, he complains about that. Encounters. He complains about that.
Of course he does.
What does he want?
Walking simulator mission. You get into a couple fights at the end, and it almost seemed like we were gonna have a reenactment.
What? Like, I'm pretty sure this dude likes Bioshock. Is the beginning of Bioshock a walking simulator? It's like, dude, literally pretty much every game, unless it's like the most gameplay focused thing of all time, has these types of moments. It's like, oh my fucking god.
And I'm sure we all remember.
What does this have to do? Oh my god.
But no, the actual Craven fight is a lot more lame than that. The whole point is Spider-Man learns that the Venom symbiote is weak to sonic frequencies, but we're
yes, the memed on bad voice acting thing literally is better than this. Sure. Okay.
The symbiote's not weak to fire in this game, at least not directly. There's even a part where Venom later on walks straight
yes,
to
and this shot is fire.
And doesn't get hurt.
Yes,
that seems like kind of an unnecessary change from the comics.
Colin, I've seen this on Twitter, and this actually pisses me off. There's people out there that legitimately are mad that in this game, the symbiote isn't weak to fire because it's not accurate to the comics.
Oh my god, go outside.
If you think that hurts the adaptation of Venom is that he doesn't have one weakness, you're a loser.
Is it a bad thing in the comics when he eventually becomes immune to some of his weaknesses?
That we're over 5 hours into the game story, and the only boss was at the very beginning. If I didn't make it clear enough already, the pacing in this game
saving
is
Craven for a better
where
boss.
It's not just really slow, but after having to watch all
it's really slow, but you're just gonna ignore the fact that you were in at least 3 different combat encounters before this fucking happened.
And then you get into another combat encounter. after this, multiple
And
of
then you
them.
get into 2 more, and then the Craven cutscene happens.
Hold on.
And then you go back to Harry, cutscene, little gameplay segment, and then another massive combat encounter. At least like 2 to 3 again.
Yeah.
It's filled with gameplay.
Simulator sequences or solving these brain-dead mini-games, you're then thrown a really long, high-octane action sequence where the game expects you to suddenly be on top of your game. Let's just say that didn't mix well with my ADHD brain. It was starting to piss me off.
Of course it didn't. Of course it
easy,
didn't.
And you're failing at the combat.
That's because your mother and father never loved you and never helped you with your fucking problems, so you can't even get through a basic combat encounter in a video game.
Oh my
On the
God.
easiest difficulty.
Fuck, actual bigoted weirdo loser who lives in his mom's basement for the rest of his life, near his 30s, playing this game so badly, ranting about women being ugly when you can't even get a decent
complains that there's not enough gameplay, then complains about the gameplay sections. Like,
just existing too. He's just complaining that they're pushing him to be good at the game. What a loser.
Next mission, Peter returns to the Emily May Foundation to team up with Harry to create a serum to return the lizard back to his human form. But since Craven is now trying to hunt Peter, the hunters attack and destroy the Foundation. And this is where it's implied that Harry starts turning down the path of evil. And now we finally get to the E3 demo mission, and you've already seen all this already. You know exactly what happens even if you didn't play the game. So it's not really worth covering. You chase down the lizard. It's a huge cinematic sequence where you're barely even touching the controller.
Nice cherry picking.
He's literally pulling a Lucas. He's literally pulling a Lucas.
Yeah, this is the amazing Lucas cherry picking the one little section that's supposed to be like at the end of the thing. This is after he was web swinging around chasing like boats and shit as both Peter and Miles after like a big combat encounter near Dr. Connors' house and all this other crazy shit.
And then you immediately after this transition into a boss fight, and then another chase, and then the end of the boss fight. It's like, what the
You know it's a good game when you can play it with one hand. Finally, next mission, we catch up with the lizard and get a real boss fight. And my only real complaint with this is something I didn't mention back in the gameplay section, but every single boss fight has an insane amount of dialogue during it. And look, I'm not arguing.
It's a narrative-based video game. What do you expect?
This is what I'm.
You'll love this. He says something that's so telling.
Doing this on the basis of realism, I couldn't care less about that aspect, to be honest. What I do care about is most of the dialogue is shit, or just completely unnecessary.
Most of the dialogue is shit. Peter literally says, "No wonder your family left you in this fucking fight." Like, that shit is that was so fucking good.
And it feels like this is there to hold Zoomer's attention, but I feel like
dude, you literally just, oh my god, you just admitted you have ADHD. They're going for you. Like, what the fuck?
You have worse attention than anyone else I've ever met, and you can't be criticizing others for bad attention.
The only thing you pay attention to is how diverse the game is, and whether it's woke or not. Like, shut the fuck up.
Absolutely misplaced here. If you're fighting a boss that requires you to pay attention to what the enemy is doing so you can react accordingly, the talking is just a distraction. People can say I have a skill issue with this game. That's completely fine by me. But I am not lying to you when I tell you that the talking unironically distracted me and made me worse at the game.
My god.
That's your issue. I don't know what to say about that. That's just because you're genuinely brain dead.
Hold on. Just turn off the dialogue. Literally just turn off the dialogue setting if it's really affecting you that bad. Even though it shouldn't. The dialogue is making me worse at the game.
And he's playing it on easy. I play on the hardest difficulty and the dialogue never caused me any issue. Well, not the hardest, I play on spectacular.
Exactly. That's because these people are fake gamers. Like him, Griffin Gaming and all that. They're like dog shit. Like every time you see them go, this is woke, blah 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 blah, and then they try and criticize the game. They criticize it, show footage that contradicts it, and they see their gameplay and they're fucking dog shit. They're not actually good at these games, and they never try to be. That's not how a person who should be reviewing video games should be acting. This is why I call you an IGN reviewer. Because that's
Dude,
what
I'm gonna be
IGN
honest.
did.
IGN's better than this. To be honest, IGN is better than this.
Yeah, at least IGN doesn't play count the minorities.
I was about to say.
Oh yeah, something funny. You know how he was talking about like the thugs? So I'm actually playing the game in the background right now. You know how he's talking about like how he's happy the fact that the thugs are white?
Yeah.
I just found found a handful of black thugs.
God damn it! Even the thugs are woke. Fucking hell.
Damn it. Morgie, don't tell him that. He might get really upset about the few things he liked in this game.
I just can't believe
He might actually go out and start killing black people. Don't tell him this.
Through the fight, it turns into a chase sequence across New York, which actually was
No,
the kind of
he's gonna
fun
Lucas
part,
it.
admittedly. But Craven, I guess as an homage to King Kong, manages to snipe the lizard off a building with a crossbow.
How
even
is
though
that
just
like King
seconds
Kong?
ago we saw cops. Yes, the cops apparently exist in this game despite their extremely reduced presence. Yeah, that's something you'll probably
The reason the
notice
presence is
as a
reduced is
response
because
to a
Yuri
common
isn't a
game
cop
journalist
anymore.
complaint about
He doesn't
Spider-Man
have a
helping the
combat.
police. I know.
Well, also,
fucking
Spider-Man
superhero
handles a
helps
lot of
the
the
police.
stuff, like, just on his own. Like, and, what's it called?
He handles before the police could arrive, I'm
Yeah.
assuming.
I mean, I just
You know,
see it's
police
kind of a
can
simple
find
case
you
of
at
his
places.
contact is now a vigilante. His police contact is now a fucking vigilante.
Idea,
Or when
right?
he thought,
Insomniac decides
is
to
that-
remove police from all but just maybe 2 or 3 missions in the entire game, and I don't think Spider-Man even ever directly interacts with them. But anyway, to get back to my point,
Who cares?
You have a whole mission where you directly interact with them. It's literally the fucking, the transport mission, where Craven's first introduced.
oh my god, yeah!
please shoot at Craven with assault rifles, and it does nothing, yet one shot from a fucking crossbow is enough to take Lizard off the building.
Oh my
which
god,
ultimately-
the specialized high-tech crossbows that obviously would have better piercing power and have fucking explosives attached to them.
The explosive was powerful enough to literally blow off his fucking tail. These are clearly advanced weapons meant to kill Lizard because he's hunting him. That's
Really
different
doesn't
than
matter
police
'cause it's
officers
still
who just
another
randomly
phase of
hear of
the
a
boss
lizard monster
battle.
and try and shoot
And
it.
Peter injects him with the cure and rescues him from drowning. And now we get one of the big plot twists of the story, that the Venom symbiote is in fact an alien, which everyone who's read any comic or seen the cartoon knows that.
That is not true. In the Ultimate Comics, it was man-made. It was man-made in the Ultimate Comics.
Yes, there are versions where it's man-made and not a fucking alien, and the first time we see it in this universe is in a fucking man-made scientific lab. So we don't know if it's fucking alien or not.
Yeah, that's I was glad that it's actually an alien. I don't
Thank
prefer
God it's
being-
alien. It's way scarier that it's a fucking alien. It would ruin the impact if it was man-made.
It also adds more to the lore of Venom.
Adds more to the character as well, because, you know, I mean, as soon as it...
Yeah.
We don't need to go over that again, though.
The only reason this is even a plot twist is because it seemed like a fake out that they were going to do the Ultimate Universe.
It also
version
shows
of-
us how Connors loses his arm. So,
Oh my
you know.
God, he is literally admitting why people could have been like surprised by this because of the
story
Ultimate Comics.
where he was made in a lab. So I'm kind of glad they actually stuck to the comics on this one.
It's not a
And
he.
Dr. Connors
I know you
warns
hate
Peter
women,
that
but-
the Venom symbiote corrupts your mind. And now, of course, since we've been told this in the story, all of a sudden Peter's transformation into a monster skyrockets from this point forward because we got to rush this along. We
Yes,
got
because Venom doesn't want to lose Peter. Like, what? As soon as he sees the threat of Peter actually starting to lose, or get rid of him, then it's
many
when Venom
did
starts
we
to take
have?
more control over him. Huh?
So in the end of the Zoom mission, he is when he has the black suit, and then we have it when he's hunting down Craven.
We have
and
it
then,
for the whole second act. It's literally the whole second act.
Yeah, and then like after that, there's like the 2 lizard chases and the boss, and then it becomes this monstrous. That's like multiple missions, and he still doesn't even lose it yet. There's still like a few more missions before he finally gets it off.
2 main characters. There's no time to develop one complete plot line. And ironically,
What are
even
you
though-
talking about?
How is this not developed? They literally show how it's affecting Peter and like, you know, how it's like ruining his mental state and all that shit.
The only thing you can even say the only thing you can say in this story that could have had more development is the character of Venom after Peter loses him. That's the only thing you can say in this story that is really underdeveloped.
A lot of people kind of shit talk that you play Miles Morales for about half this game. Miles Morales has almost nothing to do with any of this. His sub
Oh my god, dude, pay attention!
Bro.
His arc with Lee is the reason he was able to save Peter from the black suit. Those literally connect in the end. They go their separate ways, but then they connect in like the big final act of the second
And it's
act.
literally how Peter is able to be. I don't even think they would have been able to defeat Venom without fucking Lee. And this whole arc with Miles, it's like, dude, I don't know how you're this dumb.
Mr. Negative's the only connection in the main plot. Like, yeah, what about Miles or Craven or like the place you're at right now? This place where Craven is, that's where you fight him and almost kill him.
Yeah,
it's very important.
Mr. Negative is the only connection to the main plot. We really could have used more
development. The only
connection
you have with women are women that are literally fucking brain dead like you and can't see. They don't have eyes.
Because he doesn't really act like Bully McGuire. He just acts kind of like a crazy animal psycho guy. Which I don't know.
He acts way more aggressive and scary than fucking Toby. Toby's a joke. Wait. What does he mean subtle
like
descent?
A crazy animal psycho guy, which I don't know is kind of just more boring. I would like it if it was a more subtle descent, and Peter just
that literally was. He progressively gets more aggressive throughout the story.
It's so subtle that he didn't notice it.
It was so subtle, his tiny little brain didn't notice it. He was probably arguing with his mom and dad about leaving the house while those subtleties were playing. Fucking loser. Look at his shirt. Look at those sweat stains, bro. The reason he always wears grayish shirts or like darker colored shirts is because it hides the sweat stains better. What a disgusting fucking loser. Look at his hair.
He couldn't pay attention because his mom was trying to tell him to wash his clothes for once.
With his hairstyle and that fucking terrible ass fucking forehead, he looks like he's trying to be the whiter Napoleon.
Napoleon.
His haircut is giving me the impression that he was homeschooled as a little kid. Normally turned out like such a racist, moronic bigot. What a fucking
that the
loser.
suit was making him evil, not it being so
you
blatantly
Toby
obvious
Maguire's
to the audience and in your face.
Up.
And I actually want to suggest a secondary option if you don't want a more mature, serious route. You could just do what the 90s cartoon did. Believe it or not, in the original comics,
that was a whole lot less subtle. Are you shitting me?
Corrupt Peter's mind. That was an idea the
90s cartoon had him almost kill Rhino.
Let me give you a little bit of a sample of what
the
that
moment
sounded
the
like.
moment he has the suit, he's just aggressive. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Getting what I want. That's funny. I give up too. I give up trying to be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
That comes out of nowhere.
And
Alright.
Pause. I want to bring this up. That comes out of nowhere. I watched those episodes fairly recently. Why does he become more aggressive? Because the suit's evil. That's it. In the game, there's like a lot of reasons why he becomes more and more aggressive, and it's well written as hell. Because in the beginning, he's a little bit like arrogant with it, but he's not like aggressive to anybody. When he had the black suit, he's even still joking like he normally does.
Yeah,
but
like the honey joke.
Yeah, but then once the Emily May Foundation goes down, something that reminds him of Aunt May, and reminds him that like Harry's in a bad situation. You know, he noticeably gets more aggressive already, and then he starts to realize like how bad Dr. Connors has it, and how Dr. Connors would remind him of someone like Otto. Like that's when he gets worse and worse because of shit like that. Until, like, finally, he just descends because of all the bad shit that's happening. Because it reminds him of shit in the first game. That's a lot more subtle and well-written than he gets mad because he's in an evil black suit that the 90s show did it.
I actually think this could have made for an interesting opportunity in the game as well. Maybe throw one of Peter's C-list villains at him and he just fucking brutalizes him, or even better, actually kills him. That would have set up a great
Oh, well, first of all, he almost kills Craven. Second of all, if he actually killed Craven, it would have detracted from his his arc in this game so much.
He almost kills Craven. That's the same thing as what he's doing to Shocker right here. And he literally brutalizes Lizard. He beats the living shit out of Lizard, and he doesn't hold back.
He beats the fuck out of Miles in the first phase of the fight.
Yeah, he does a lot worse than just be mean.
Well, hold on. We could pull up this scene. Like, oh my god.
He almost pulls Mary Jane.
Hold on. Yeah, he literally. Well, I mean, technically that wasn't him, but you know, we let it ride. This scene, like, this shit was just straight heat.
Wow.
He's like doing something.
He literally has this dude shitting himself.
Development moment where he realizes what the suit has done to him, and then he has to tear it off himself. Now, of course, that's not the story this game is going for. And speaking of all of this, this is when we get to the next Mary Jane mission. If you've been sticking to the main story, it hasn't even been 2 hours since the last one. We have to play as Mary Jane again. And I had
And this is one of the best fucking missions in the game.
This is when I really pushed
That is a straight up lie. It's been hours before you play this mission after the last
And
one.
even if we want to run with this hypothetical scenario, this mission is fucking gas. Like, this shit is so fucking good.
And this is basically the last mission you do.
And he's still playing on easy mode.
Limits of how bad the stealth system was. And the setup for this is just as cringe as the mission itself. Basically, Peter finally needs to sleep after, you know, saving the world a million times. And while he's sleeping, Venom takes over his body. Meanwhile, MJ has to defend the house and single-handedly tases like 20 hunters by herself.
She almost
and
dies
if this mission
because
wasn't,
it wasn't
bad enough,
fucking
it
Spider-Man
ends
in
with
this mission.
Multiple times she almost dies because Peter didn't save her.
Jane
And then Peter almost kills her.
cornering Peter in a tunnel, and she sees that he's become a monster, and so there's a little bit of a chase scene that is almost impossible to fail, by the way, and I had to let go of the controller for several seconds for Peter to catch up, and we get a very lame game over sequence.
It's almost like they're transitioning from a cutscene, so they would set it up in a way where, like, if you're caught off guard by the transition to gameplay, you're not going to instantly fail. And again, if you do let go of the controller, you fucking die.
Oh, thank God. Jesus Christ, that took way too long.
Oh
and
my
the cherry
God.
on top, failing the
Bro,
QuickTime events here does nothing. Yes, this
That's
is yet
fair.
another Sony gift. Jane writes a scathing article about Spider-Man for J. Jonah Jameson. Okay, is that really supposed to be a source of conflict between these two?
Yes!
She's literally
Oh
going
my
against
God!
him. She's literally going against him publicly. Like, what?
Easily just reason it away as MJ trying to keep her job.
Because he's ignoring her phone calls. We literally get that right before that mission.
Because Peter is in Chud mode now, he's obviously pissed about it. And luckily, right after this, we get the only legitimately good dramatic scene in the entire game.
Collins.
That suit is changing you.
Disgusting. Stop zooming in on her. She's so gross.
Oh my fucking God, dude.
Some more pills and say what
Bro.
What the fuck is wrong with him?
I'm busting my
Many
ass out there
things.
trying to save you, and this is what I get?
I said don't.
I think he's just genuinely the most unloved person alive, and this is what happened to him.
Yeah, but you didn't, did you?
Like, he went to school and made zero
I can't
friends
lose this
until he
job.
became an
Your
adult,
job is to
and now
write
he's
the truth.
doing this for the rest of his
I
life.
did.
The truth is, I'm the hero here, not you.
Yeah. Everything he's saying is correct, though. Am I supposed
Oh
to
my
think
God.
he's actually being objectively correct?
Such a moron. Holy
I have
shit.
no
He's
genuine-
literally Lucas, bro. Peter should have kept the black suit. He's literally Lucas.
He should have kept the black suit.
Oh my God, dude.
Unfortunately, this is pretty much all we get, outside of him acting like a weird sociopathic rage monster in just a second after this.
Oh
Not
my
to mention,
God.
that little scene right there is a massive source of drama. Well, that and the fact that he was neglecting his butt buddy Miles. Yes, that is a real plot point, that he wasn't answering Miles' calls, and so now he's upset at him.
problem?
And so the writers force Peter...
I'm now realizing I forgot to mention Miles got captured during the last mission. I just kind of forgot that even happened.
How do you forget that? That's literally what... the next mission's about him being caught, you fucking...
You didn't forget that! You complained about a bug that happened in that mission!
So fucking stupid. What is... God, the layers of his stupidity is so insane.
He literally-
I never knew this video would be this bad.
He's
It's actually
He
insane.
literally is Lucas. I need to hear him and Lucas have a
Look at the likes for
conversation.
this, like, why is there 12k likes? Why?
I don't know.
People are actually stupid.
He's boundless stupidity and lack of self-awareness. It's
It's infecting everybody. Like,
why
the
do you?
Venom
He literally
symbiote
is the fucking Venom symbiote. Like, f*** it out.
Miles calls, and so now he's upset at him, and so the writers force Peter to apologize for the rest of the game, despite the fact it's not his fucking fault that Venom was influencing his mind.
What? You still apologize for acting that way. That's like saying that you shouldn't apologize because that was the drugs fucking you over, not you.
That's like being a dickhead while you're drunk and then not apologizing for it. It's like,
Listen, listen. I didn't drink and drive. The alcohol made me drink and drive.
That's literally it. That's literally the argument.
Come back up later. And this next mission was actually pretty solid as well. Basically, Miles ends up tracking down Mr. Negative.
You just said. Well, hold on. No, he just said. I forgot this mission even happened, and then said, "Yeah, this next mission was pretty solid." Ah, how are you this dumb? He literally has 2 different personalities like Lucas. He is literally Lucas.
I think he has more than 2, to be honest. I think he has like 5 different personalities that keep contradicting and keep distracting him with his tiny little peanut brain, so he keeps getting hit in easy boss fights on the easiest difficulty.
Look at how conflicted he is in this boss fight. Look at his face. He's not only forced to play as the black He's not only forced to play as the black character he hates, but he's conflicted on whether or not he wants to fucking beat up the Asian guy because he's playing as a black guy.
You can tell that there's 5 different personalities arguing with his head that's preventing him from playing the game, and that's why he's like getting his ass kicked from this.
You ever seen Inside Out? Yeah. All the emotions are just flaring inside his head. He's just having like a red alert.
Dude, in Inside Out, instead of it being different emotions, it's just different forms of bigotry. It's just racism, transphobia, sexism.
No, all of them. Yeah, you remember at the end of the movie when they go into the guy's head, when like the reaction to Riley's freaking the fuck out. That's like
his Bing Bong
whenever he sees a minority.
No, his Bing Bong is the creator of the KKK.
Craven, they have a 1v1 boss battle where Miles decides obviously not to kill him, which I think is definitely the wrong move. It's way too boring.
Oh my god, dude! I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch this anymore. I really don't.
We gotta finish it. I like how dude, it wouldn't even be interesting. It just would have been tasteless if we like have Martin Lee go, just do it. Like he's clearly guilty.
That would ruin his arc. It would literally ruin his fucking arc. That would literally be shit writing.
That would be so bad. It would be like, where the fuck did that come from?
It's like, yeah, we just have this badass moment where Miles is overcoming his conflict and realizing, like, yeah, I can't keep letting this happen. Oh yeah, now I'm gonna kill you. Like, yeah, that makes fucking sense, right?
Look at his face, man. He's literally like, please kill the Asian. Please kill the Asian. Please make the black guy look worse than the white guy in the main video game. Please. You can tell that there's 2 different forms of bigotry. Like,
they're just arguing
about what he wants.
Alright.
Dude, he's still wearing that
makes Miles
he's
way
still
too
trying to hide
similar
the
to Peter, but without any of the character flaws.
He's way too similar to Peter
anyway,
because he's not a fucking murderer.
Mr. Negative, So anyway, instead of killing Mr. Negative, he helps him escape, and so off-screen, Miles fights Craven 1v1, and spoilers, he loses. Remember that for later. So of course Peter shows up.
What?
Up, he goes ballistic.
Let's see it.
And again, this just shows the writers are completely toothless, because despite beating the absolute shit out of all these goons, he never actually kills anybody. So anyway, you fight your way there. You fight Craven in a 1v1 boss
Bro
battle.
just wants Peter to be a murderer.
Pretty good, even if I was pissed off at the time on the stream. The second phase of the fight is one of the only boss fights in the game with a legitimate gimmick, that being the symbiote's weakness to sonic frequencies, so you have to like web up this bell, right? But just as Spider-Man might kill Craven...
You mean to tell me a boss fight is getting progressively more mechanically interesting? Who would have guessed? Holy shit, it's almost like that's good boss design.
Dude, he's gonna get mad that Miles beats by Peter.
He definitely is. Wait, we just gotta lock it. We gotta lock in for this part, hold on.
Frequencies, so you have to like web up this bell, right? But just as Spider-Man might kill Craven... Now notice how I say might, because he hasn't even knocked Craven unconscious. That's an important plot point here.
Okay.
He's still choking him out as Miles shows up and attacks.
First of all, that's not even Peter really choking him out. That's pretty much Venom. Like, he doesn't have full control over himself.
Peter to stop him from killing Craven. Now here we have the first major moment of the story that legitimately pissed me off. despite losing to Craven.
Look at how happy! Look at his face! He's so happy!
He's so upset that Miles is gonna beat fucking the white Spider-Man. He's so upset.
Well, he's cheering right now, but then later his face is just gonna change. I guarantee
is able
it.
to defeat Peter with the symbiote suit on. And I just know there's going to be people making excuses for this, saying that, well, Miles' bioelectricity abilities are more effective on the symbiote.
No, not even that. I just think Peter was holding back.
Peter was conflicted. Peter's holding back. Miles is using his weaknesses. Gameplay is not... the whole boss fight is probably not how this fight actually went down in the canonicity.
I mean, remember, Peter pulls off the symbiote himself.
So he keeps trying to go, yeah, he beats Craven and Craven beat Miles. Not only is that what people call ABC logic, like there's more context to how someone could win a fight than just you beat someone that could beat you. Yeah. Another thing is Craven beats him because he's tired out after fighting a marathon fight with Mr. Negative and having to use all of his bioelectricity to take out all of Craven's men. Craven beat a tired, weakened Miles, so that wouldn't even be a reason.
Ring the bell in the arena. Well, first of all, it's fucking stupid that his electricity is good against everything in this game. Yeah, not a single enemy resists his powers in any way. It's not even good against the
symbiote. That's not why he wins. He wins literally because he doesn't even beat Peter. That's what's so fucking dumb.
Wait, hold on. Thank you for the $10 again. Mind you, Miles won because Peter was heavily conflicted. This was the Spider-Man version of Anakin versus Obi-Wan. Pretty much, honest. That's honestly a good comparison.
In fact, most of the time it's the opposite. And while the bell argument is fine, I still don't think it should have been enough. Miles already...
It should have been enough that he basically has his kryptonite on him. How big do you think Miles is? He has the same power set, you fucking idiot. It's literally because he's black? Is that your argument?
It probably is.
Yeah. Dude, I don't even care about the experience thing when he has generally the same power level as Peter. Has other abilities that he could use to his advantage.
Well, no, you could argue that you could even argue that Miles's base powers has just gotten more powerful than Peter's base powers. Mind you, they did get bitten by two different spiders. And Miles is able to while also fatigued and probably holding back too, is generally able to contend with an amped version of Peter. There's no issue.
And the problem is, again, Miles does not
at the end of the day, Peter doesn't beat Miles. I mean, Miles doesn't beat Peter. Miles doesn't win that fight. All that happens was that he holds off Peter long enough, he talks him out enough, and he just keeps ringing the bell to make sure Peter can't attack him anymore. You literally see in the end cutscene, he's just spamming the bell.
In the cutscenes, right? Like in the beginning, Peter's beating the fuck out of Miles. The next cutscene is when Miles starts to get through to Peter, which makes him more conflicted, thus weakening him more.
But this is
it's literally a case of you're assuming that Peter's going full force on Miles. When I want to bring this up, he didn't even go full force on Craven. Why would he go full force on Miles?
Yeah, it's even established he's holding back against Craven, so he would definitely hold back against Miles. Keep in mind, even with the symbiote going after MJ, even the symbiote trying to kill MJ in that scene, even then Peter was trying to hold back, subconsciously. Because it kept missing her and fucking up. When, obviously, if, he was fully conscious and not conflicted, he could just, speed blitz murder her.
Yeah.
Moment that solidified his place as the replacement for Peter Parker. Because not only does the student surpass the master, but a more powerful version of his master at that. And again, it robs Peter Parker of a great character development moment he could have had.
It literally is!
This is a character development moment. Just because it's spurred on by another character doesn't mean it's not character development.
He doesn't understand the concept of fucking...
He doesn't like how the black one had to help him.
He doesn't know what an impact character is.
He's just upset that the black one had to help him take off the symbiote suit.
Is it a problem that Ellie
I'm
helps?
He's saying the same thing if Miles was white.
No, I'm genuinely curious. Does he have the same criticism for The Last of Us 1? Maybe because it's the Sony game.
Is he an Xbox fan or a Nintendo fan? Or
He's just an idiot.
What's his opinion on the concept of the idea of Nightwing taking up the Batman mantle?
But if you really want to take this from a narrative perspective, Miles helped Peter beat himself. Yeah, essentially.
Wait, I want to get your opinion on this. What do you think his take is on the whole Azrael taking Batman's place in Arkham Knight. Do you think he complained about that?
Well, dude, it's so.
Does he have a
fucking
problem
weird
when
'cause,
Dick Grayson or any of the other Bat family members take up the mantle of Batman?
I want to bring up something. Usually, when Spider-Man overcomes the symbiote in every version of the story, he can't do it by himself. Like if we in the comics, he had to go to a bell tower and almost kill himself just to kick it off. In the '90s series, he
Does
had
the same thing, pretty much.
Yeah, he needs the bell to take it off. Spectacular, he doesn't overcome it by himself. He needed the guidance of Uncle Ben to beat it.
Well, even in the ultimate universe, he fucking slammed into electricity lines, and that's what helped him get it off.
Yeah, like there's never ever a story where Peter by himself, just without any guidance from any of it, like without any guidance or anything, just kind of rips off the symbiote. Even in the end of season 1 of Spectacular, where the symbiote grabs him, he uses the love and care of all of his family to take it off again. Like he doesn't do it by himself. It's because
you know what's neat.
Because of the support
You know what's honestly neat. We kind of get a scene like that Spectacular scene with Miles in the Mr. Negative vision.
It's embarrassing when the '90s cartoon with its over-the-top voice acting handled this better than the $100
No,
million
it did not. No, it did not. Shut the fuck up.
There was no conflict or anything. He just spammed the bell and took it off.
Like, this is just pure waffle. I don't even. I really don't want to finish this video.
So, with the help of Miles, Peter rips the suit off and they capture it. And they have a conversation on a nearby rooftop, which is the beginning of Peter's various groveling, apologizing moments that you're going to get for the rest of the story.
Oh my god.
It was his fault. Venom was
he almost murdered MJ and Miles. Yeah, I think I would apologize.
Well, you kind of do have to acknowledge that there's you kind of do have to acknowledge that there's an element of truth in what's going on with these negative emotions. Like, there is an element of that. Not all of it is like them, obviously, but there is an element of truth, like in this boss fight and some of the stuff that Peter says. It's like there's not always Peter is being a dick. You can't just be like what are you're not gonna apologize for that? Like, it's such dumb logic.
It is like abuse of actual drugs. There's still an element that is actually you. Also, once again, one of Peter's character flaws is that he always blames himself more than he should. It's one of his core character flaws. It's been established ever since the first game and has been a thing in the comics ever since his creation. It is literally how he becomes Spider-Man, is that he blames himself more than he actually should. Because he didn't kill Uncle Ben. A fucking robber did. A robber he would never expect to murder his uncle.
Venom was manipulating his mind. Peter didn't even choose to put the fucking suit on. Venom latched to him to save him from dying.
Not take it off.
So any of this behavior, any of his actions were his fault when he was being mind controlled. So anyway, Peter decides that they need to destroy Venom.
Is he gonna talk about how MJ also apologized? Thank you for the $5, Cosmic. If Peter doesn't apologize for almost killing MJ, then I guess a drunk driver does not have to apologize for running somebody over. Exactly.
Too dangerous. You can't afford to give him back to Harry because Norman is working on a different cure, which, of course, as you could probably guess, is the Goblin Serum. So Peter makes his way back to Connor's lab alone, which is kind of stupid. And Harry is there waiting for him.
What he's working on?
Yeah.
I imagine it is. I mean, it's called the G Serum.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty obvious foreshadowing.
This thing right here?
No. I mean, like,
smoke.
The G Serum, like at the end of the game when he's like, get the G Serum ready.
Well, yeah, I know that. I'm talking about in this scene right here. Like, there's like some green gas in the tube thingy. Is that the Goblin formula?
I don't know. Maybe it's just green. Maybe just set up some LED lights in the tank.
The symbiote just kind of breaks out of containment after a dramatic moment between the two of them. And in yet another contrived moment, Venom is born, and he is
How is it contrived?
Yeah, it's not contrived.
That's not
literally
contrived.
The opposite of contrived, because it's literally.
You don't know what contrived. You don't know what contrived means.
Dude, his family not loving him is contrived.
No, I think that was pretty well set up. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a good reason to not like him.
Then he was being attached to Peter, which is not explained in any way, but I will let it slide because it's a rule of cool moment. And this Venom is more overpowered.
I'll let it slide because it's a rule of cool moment.
Go back. What is his criticism?
That it's contrived.
To Peter, which is not explained in any way, but after a dramatic moment in Connor's lab alone, which is kind of stupid, and Harry is there waiting for him,
Connors
and the
didn't come yet.
because Norman is working on a different cure, which, of course, as you could probably guess, is the Goblin Serum. So Peter makes his way back to Connor's lab alone, which is kind of stupid, and Harry is there waiting for him. And
why is it? First of all, he was going there to meet up with Connors. It's literally established before you walk into this fucking mission.
Just kind of breaks out of containment after a dramatic moment between the two of them. And in yet another contrived moment, Venom is born, and he is way more powerful than he was.
Doesn't explain how it's contrived.
He's saying because he's way more powerful.
Yeah, and then he's saying way more powerful, literally an SK criticism. Fucking hell. It's literally
in the game that Peter would have became that if it was on him longer. It was clearly just growing.
They also explain this like an hour later. I'm pretty sure, maybe it's shorter. I don't fucking know, that they achieved full symbiosis.
Is being attached to Peter, which is not explained in any way.
It is.
I will let it slide because it's a rule of cool moment. And this Venom is more overpowered than the comic book version, at least in the 90s comics that I read anyway, because he's now like 12 feet tall and basically unkillable from this point forward. You're gonna see a lot over the course of this game. They wanted Venom to be a planet-wide threat, which is kind of a problem because Spider-Man is a street-level hero, and it's already been confirmed that the Avengers and Doctor Strange exist in this universe.
Venom's
so this is a little too much.
It's not
to
like
add.
Venom is fucking planet level or anything. Like, what are you talking about?
He's an idiot.
I mean, I guess he would. I guess he would be if he could spread his symbiote tentacles across the planet. So yeah, I guess he would be, but he doesn't reach that point, so no.
Even like the Green Goblin could be a threat to the world if you gave him sufficient resources or power amps.
Well, yeah, anybody could.
So like, I don't know. You think Spider-Man doesn't stop this kind of stuff? Like, any hero would try and stop that.
Well, like Electro, he could be a very big threat, and Peter stops him.
Electro could possibly blow up the entire city fucking electrical line and kill everybody.
He could turn into the Red Skull Sun from the 90s series.
Shut the fuck up.
Ask for someone in Spider-Man's power level, but I'll admit this is actually just a minor
complaint. Venom has never been on Spider-Man's power level. The whole point is that he's a better, stronger Spider-Man, but Spider-Man uses his intellect and his advantages to not having the weaknesses Venom has to beat him.
Yeah.
Happens from this point forward was actually pretty cool, even if a lot of it was poorly written in certain ways.
It's not
and
poorly
Venom
written,
is one of my.
okay.
Eddie Brock just hated Peter Parker, and the Venom symbiote acted like a scorned ex-girlfriend in the original comic book version.
He acts like that in this game too.
There was obviously a lot of potential for redemption there. And I like anti-heroes who kill people, like the Punisher, so it kind of sucks that this version is just blatantly evil. But yet again, I have derailed
You're probably an unironic fan of
The good news, this is the best mission in the game, because you actually get to play as Venom, but only for this mission. And the gameplay is extremely basic. You're basically just spamming square and hitting circle to block or deflect projectiles. But it actually feels like a superhero game, like Hulk Ultimate Destruction.
Oh my
the only
God,
thing it's
dude.
missing is being able to pick up and throw cars, but it's
when
pretty
you're
much got the
Spider-Man,
rest.
easily, like,
And you beat
bouncing
the
enemies like a
absolute
fucking
shit out of like
basketball.
100 of
Or whatever
Norman
that is, dog
Osborn's
shit.
goons. Then you beat up a bunch of hunters, and finally Craven shows up. You get another boss battle. You absolutely wipe the floor with him. And then Venom chops his head off, which is easily the best moment in the entire game. Finally, it felt like there were stakes, there were consequences to actions, and best of all, it was just a really cool and fun moment. It was very simplistic, but it doesn't go on too long, and the boss fight was decent enough, though more brain dead than the rest easily.
There's no stakes to fucking Venom taking over the world, I guess.
Simplistic the gameplay was for that.
There's no stakes with Harry literally becoming brain dead. Okay.
But I will take
No, but why does
fun
Norman want to get revenge on Spider-Man? That doesn't make sense.
over complex and overly drawn out boring crap, which a lot of the rest of this game is composed of. The only real problem I have with this entire sequence is that it just makes the entire Craven plotline feel kind of pointless. He existed...
Bro, oh my god, dude, you're so f***ing dumb. It's literally the conclusion of what f***ing Craven wants. Like, what the f*** is wrong with you?
What did he say? I was actually kind of zoning out.
He said it makes Craven's entire purpose in this story pointless.
How?
You tell me, dude, because I don't know.
Half the reason Venom even happened is because of Craven existing. If Craven wasn't in here, then it wouldn't be Venom.
To be a jobber to Venom, to make Venom seem like a real threat, the most powerful thing that Spider-Man has faced so far, because we just got to see how badass Craven was. He easily killed Scorpion. He was able to fight Spider-Man with the symbiote almost to a standstill. He defeated Miles, albeit off-screen. But much later, right at the end of the game, Miles Morales is a match for Venom.
No, he is not! He was about to fucking die!
Yeah, he's not.
He has to get saved by fucking MJ, and then Peter comes back to consciousness, and they beat the fuck out of them together.
And even then, Miles almost died again, because he, like, webs up fucking Miles, and Miles almost falls to his death.
Fights Venom in single combat, and is able to fend him off, and Peter gets a plot device power that allows him to fight Venom. There's a real reason. Miles does not. So the power levels are fucked in this game. Okay,
Peter
I just had to
performs
rant
better
about
against
that for a
Venom
second.
than fucking
And now
Miles.
we're finally in the third act, and unfortunately we get yet another hour plus of padding before
Peter
the end.
took more damage from
You also have to acknowledge that, well, even in that boss fight narratively, Peter literally is letting Venom, like, take control of him, essentially. Like, when he wraps him up in the tentacles, he's, like, trying to get through to Harry in that scene.
Yeah, he's holding back more.
Yeah.
He's his best friend, and he still performed better than Miles. He kills the symbiote in the end. He does defeat Venom. He fucking uses the anti-Venom powers to murder him, essentially.
Anti-SJWs are just as bad as actual SJWs, Jesus. Oh, yeah.
Yes, they are. Holy shit. Look at this sweat-stain-filled moron.
They're two sides of different coins. Fucking hell.
Shut the fuck up.
Now we get to arguably the worst part of the entire game, the Scream boss battle. Mary Jane gets infected with the symbiote, and she turns into Scream, who actually is a symbiote from the comics, and we get the most blatant, transparent, feminist rant
Oh my god.
I don't wanna finish this. I don't wanna finish this.
Done begging for validation from you, from anyone.
Validation? If this is about your job.
It's about me. Hey! It's not my job, stupid house.
Typical woman. Me.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, dude. It's so fucking annoying because the whole point is that this isn't good. Like, this isn't a good thing that Mary Jane's acting this way. This is when she's the bad guy Scream.
He doesn't notice the irony in this shit is He has literally no self-awareness.
She literally has to overcome her, like, jealousy and insecurity of, like, being inadequate compared to Peter as Spider-Man. That's the whole point. That's why she's like, yeah, you're just upset I'm more powerful than you. Clearly that she's insecure about her own lack of power. It's almost like she's just as flawed as he is in this fucking boss fight.
For your book, you said you want to help people.
Nobody read it.
Yeah, because it was shit.
Oh my god.
I think most of this game was written by a woman. No, it didn't. Shut the fuck up, Peter. You're such a bad liar, really. Your book helped me, MJ. What a fucking simp.
Bro.
It's a simp to, like, fucking
try and get your girlfriend back. He's literally just jealous. Because he doesn't have any female fucking contacts. He wishes he was Peter.
I was wrong. You don't have to try trust me, but please trust yourself.
Let me do what I have to do.
You're right. I've been selfish. I was so wrapped up in my own life, I never thought about yours.
Fuck.
You just want to stay the stronger half. What? You don't feel special anymore?
What? No! You're stronger than me in so many ways.
Bro.
Why are people upset about that? That has been a thing ever since the creation of these characters, is that she has strengths that he doesn't. One of the main ones is that she's able to keep a stable fucking career when he's ruining it as Spider-Man.
Jonah? Kiss my ass. I quit.
James.
What's up? That's so good. What's wrong with that?
What the actual fuck? If anyone says this is a good story, stop listening to them, please, for love of God.
If anyone thinks this is a good video, stop listening to them.
Man, I got nothing more to say here that I didn't already say during the stream. This was painfully bad. Mary Jane is obviously the self-insert of the lead writer for this game.
Yeah.
And this rant must be directed toward her
I'm sure.
ex-boyfriends or some shit.
Oh my
because
god.
this is some of the most out-of-touch, narcissistic bullshit I think I've heard.
That's literally the f***ing point. Is that you're showing her f***ing flaws, dude. Holy f***ing shit.
The symbiote literally goes into people's flaws and exacerbates them. Like Peter's rage and resentment for his failures and how how he feels about others, like in the most negative way, comes out. Like how he thinks that Miles is just an inferior version of him, and that he doesn't want Miles to like overshadow him. Like that's deep down in him. How he thinks that Mary Jane is inadequate when it comes to being a hero because she lacks powers is something he does feel deep down in a way. That's what the black suit did to him. So it's the same thing here. I don't get why. It's so, like, this kind of shows that people are actually a little bit sexist with this shit. So, they're okay with Peter revealing his true colors with the black suit and being a flat-out fucking piece of shit. But when she does it, and it's literally not even as bad, they have a problem with it.
Piece of entertainment. It reads like a parody. And before anybody says that, oh, that's the point, because she's got a symbiote on her.
Bro. He's fucking...
Dude.
He had a moment of self-awareness and doesn't realize how dumb he's being. Holy f***.
That's not really what she thinks. No, the symbiote is enhancing what she already felt. And that's why Peter
Pause again. I want to reinforce this. So you're okay with Peter thinking that she is useless and isn't worthy of being a hero because of her lack of powers. You're okay with Peter thinking that Miles is just trying to overshadow him and is an inferior Spider-Man than him. You're okay with the fact that he considers murdering multiple people in this fucking game and brutalizing them. That is okay, that's what he truly feels, but Mary Jane just going, I want more, I want slightly more of validation than I get because I get nothing. That's bad. It's so fucking insane, the double standard with this shit. It's the same problem I had with the people bitching about MJ in the first game. They complain about MJ wanting to be more independent and all that shit, but they don't care about the fact that Peter's clearly acting like a helicopter parent around her.
Yeah.
They just don't consider both sides. It's so ridiculous.
Well, that's why I hate the criticisms.
He literally is perfectly okay with letting his best friend die of a disease so he can keep the symbiote, and that is how he truly feels. That's the symbiote exacerbating those emotions. That he considers it being okay to let his friend die.
I wouldn't say that was all him. That would be kind of nuts, but.
Well, I think it's the addiction getting to him.
Well, yeah. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, yeah, that's making him consider letting his best friend die.
Yeah.
And the whole purpose of anti-venom is to kill symbiotes. So you know what that means? It means that these new bullet spongy enemies that you've been fighting for the last hour can actually be defeated normally, thank God. But the worst part of this mission comes right at the very end, as despite Peter now having a real reason to contribute, something that makes him stand out from Miles, since Miles is pretty much...
I don't want to finish. Come on, dude.
10 more minutes.
Are you
do this piece of shit?
I don't know the words anymore to describe this. How are you this stupid? How?
It's called the internet, Colin.
I don't get it.
Just him, but better. He says this.
It's like Optimus said at the end of Age of Extinction. There's mysteries to the universe we were never meant to understand. Synthetic Man is one of those mysteries.
That's why his mother and father don't love him. They couldn't figure him out.